Hello.
Hi, it's Monday again, guys.
I know. It
And
happens every week at the same time. It's
it
crazy.
does. It does happen every week. And every week I go into work and go, it happened again, guys. But it is Monday. We are down to episode, or up to, I guess.
Yeah.
Up to
Down to one left
episode,
though. Down to one
yes,
left.
episode 7 of 8. And tonight, for our rewatch, we are being joined by.
Look, here comes an awesome guest. Yay!
Hey,
Hi, everyone.
Hi. Oh, it's Hopper. Hey, Hopper.
Hey, Hopper.
Man, it's I haven't seen you in like forever.
Seems like it's been a long time, yeah.
It's been a while. I think the last one was
Rings of Power.
Lord of the Rings. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Brought me in for the Doors, which was my jam. I was very excited about them.
Chris knows.
Yes, thank you, Chris. Even though I keep saying I do not want to live forever, because at some point I would love to take a nap. So
just get sealed in the board for 3,000 years.
Avi can take it over. Her training's coming along nicely. She will.
I mean, let's be honest. This is really what the Wheel of Time is all about: is living forever.
Yeah, and but in that case, I'm kind of agree with Ishi. I'm like, it's only so many times.
It's true.
Only so many times can I do this.
I'm so glad Lanfear called him Ishi also. Like,
yes,
so
that was for us. That was for us. They did that for us.
100% for us.
They did that for the fandom.
I'm so, and I like squealed a little bit when it happened. I had to rewind it and do it again because Aaron was like, I didn't hear what happened. So how was everybody's weekend?
The guests can go first.
It was pretty rainy here. We did have a country fair, which was exciting. That was supposed to be on Saturday, but then it was on Sunday. And we were supposed to go trooping with the 501st, but that didn't happen because that was supposed to be on Saturday.
What is trooping with the 501st? Is that like
So me and my husband we're part of the Protectors, the Mandalorian Protectors.
Ooh.
And we work closely with the 501st, which is the Star Wars costuming group. We go to the same events. And so trooping is where you put on your gear and you go out into the public domain and interact with everybody. So we were supposed to do that, but it rained, so we didn't.
So hold on, was that what these costumes were for?
Yeah, so that's from these costumes, but this was actually a photography event in New York.
Oh, that's awesome.
Because we usually don't troop together. Usually you have someone called a handler. Anyone who cosplays usually also has a handler. Brennan is usually my handler.
Yeah.
And that's just like, hey, don't die. Do you need a snack? You want to take do you want to take a picture with them? Like that kind of thing.
Make sure people don't like accost you.
Yes. So we try not to troop together, or we try not to both be characters at the same time. So because there's usually a lack of handlers. So it's the other.
Oh. That's interesting. Maybe that's something I should volunteer for. I'll be a handler.
Yeah,
you'd be a good handler, Tom.
I mean, I did it for the guests at JordanCon.
Yeah, that's why I was thinking you'd be good.
I had to do that for Brandon, and Brandon is the worst. Brandon is literally the worst.
And this is
nice.
And this is way easier. Like, you just make sure that people have water and help people get in and out of costume if needed.
Yeah, that's fair. Brandon, like, he is, like she said, he is super nice. Like, he would never not talk to somebody. So, like, if someone stopped to talk to him, he would stop and talk to them and be like,
and then be late.
Yeah, your panel started 5 minutes ago. He's like, well, it didn't start because I'm not there.
Yeah, I have a friend very much like that. I am much more of a, like, I can't talk to you right now. I have to be at a panel. But I do have a friend who's like, I'm sitting next to her and I'm like, we gotta go. Like, you're gonna get stopped 3 more times on our way to the panel. the judging room, the photo op, like let's go. I am not afraid to be like, no, swing back around in like 5 minutes. I'll be free.
So I think we took advantage of you've been a guest on the show so often that we didn't really give you like a proper introduction. But
yes, we just started talking. We just started talking to her.
But it's I mean, that's the problem with like getting people that like are like friends
that we know. Yeah.
Like we forget, oh wow, you're a professional person. We should probably also like talk about your stuff. So I'm gonna post your Instagram in chat right now, but why don't you give us a little pitch? Like, what have you done recently?
So my name is Redfield. At the moment, I am the Masters of Cosplay Grand Prix winner. The international competition that takes place. That's mine. That takes place across the United States and Canada. I cosplay. I teach sewing. I teach private lessons. I teach like in person. I do a lot of panels and discussions about costuming, and cosplay, and things like this where we discuss costumes in popular TV shows.
Do you do your lessons? Do you do them? Are they only in person, or do you do virtual lessons?
I can do either.
Ooh, that's cool.
Yeah. So I started doing them during COVID because I was teaching at a school in which we had to do virtual everything.
Okay.
And I found a lot of the times that people would contact me about lessons, but they would be like overseas or like, across the country. And generally I can point them in direction of somebody in their location that teaches classes, but I sometimes can't do that.
Okay.
How do you feel about the cut? We're going to talk about the cut. That's why I'm here, Hopper, is to talk about the costumes in the Wheel of Time season 2.
Exactly. So, well, speaking of Wheel of Time, Chris asked a question earlier that I started, and I want to get back up. So, what do you guys think? Going into this episode, Matt had some interesting scenes this episode, particularly one scene that kind of was a little creepy.
All of the thoughts.
Yeah, here we go.
Yeah, I didn't like that.
Yeah, it was a weird scene, but I have costuming things for this. So here's the thing, guys. Here's the thing.
Yeah.
That I find really interesting. Notice how in season 2, everybody else has changed costumes except Matt. Matt is visually and maybe even emotionally hasn't actually grown at all through season 2.
Yeah.
He's still processing. I would say we'll see in the images of his costumes in season 3 how that works.
So do you think it's like they're trying to tell us that maybe he's still affected by the dagger, or maybe he's still like in his old ways or whatever?
I think it's more that he's stuck in his old ways.
Okay.
That's not going to like equate very well to this outside world.
Right. I was going to say, in the books, we know Matt kind of struggles with being a hero to some degree. So I think the best way to visually show that is him dealing with that, almost like Men is dealing, right?
Yeah.
So they've got to set that up, because you can't hear him. You can't hear him in his head. I mean, it's the same reason we gave Perrin a wife and then killed her. So
you're not in.
People,
you're not exactly.
So people could understand, right? But so people could understand why he is so against the violence and doesn't want to be a wolf and moves so slow. It is because we can't hear him talking about, I know I'm bigger than everybody. So
yeah.
And I don't even know if it's just from season 1 to season 2. It's also like just throughout season 2, Matt hasn't changed, but also Perrin hasn't changed at all. Like Perrin is also wearing the same clothing. He's still very similar, but they've dialed it up a bit with him with like the the ring and not being able to let go of the ring and not being able to, admit what happened and speak about
The
what
wedding
happened.
ring,
Yeah.
yeah.
I think so. I think with Perrin, mentally he's working through it.
Yeah, almost.
He's still struggling with like this wolf thing, but
Yeah.
mentally he's putting the pieces together faster than Matt is putting the pieces together.
Yeah.
So his costume has changed, not as drastically as we see Rand's costume change.
And Egwene and Nynaeve.
Yeah. But we do, and also with like Egwene and Nynaeve, they're forced to change.
Yeah.
Right.
So even then, you're not necessarily seeing their mental state inside the costumes. Perrin is still wearing the same silhouette that he has been wearing, but it is a different, it's more textured, it's more complicated.
Yeah.
It's even more complicated than Rand's. And if you think about Perrin, he himself is way more complicated and can also get stuck in this mesh of thoughts more than probably anybody else.
Yeah.
Well, I want to say
he's a deeper thinker.
Well, yeah, I was going to say at this point, I don't think Rand is super complicated yet because Rand kind of makes a decision and then that's what he's going to do until he's faced with something else. And then he makes another decision and that's what he's going to do.
Yeah. The more we'll talk about the Lanfear part and the land part when we get to the end of the episode. But that was interesting, and I don't know where they're gonna go with this. Like, it's like I'm torn between liking the fact that I can't predict where they're going because like I get to be surprised by the Wheel of Time again, while at the same time I'm a little apprehensive, like what is going on.
There's definitely Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
There's definitely, like, as I was saying earlier, like I personally didn't read the books once I heard they were making it because I know they're not going to make it like the books. Like, I know that we all love Robert Jordan, but Robert Jordan could have really used an editor. And there are some things that cannot be explained visually in a non-word form.
Yeah,
not inside someone's head, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
So I personally did not watch it, but there are still times where I'm sitting there with my husband who has never read them and I have to pause it and I'm like, Brendan, you don't even understand. Like, this is what just happened? Like, there were times I had to text him at one point, which as I said we're gonna get to, where I was like, Brendan, they did it.
He's gonna come down. What happened? Is everything okay?
Yeah. Well, I'm in a soundproof room, so he can't hear anything.
Oh, the joys of being a cosplayer. You need a soundproof room.
Yeah. But yeah, there were definitely sometimes I was like,
me too. But so the two things that's gotten me, and actually it's mostly Matt, but it was Matt and then this Lanfear thing at the end. I'm interested to see where they go with it because, like, if it pays out well, great. If it doesn't, then I'll be like, come on. The one thing that did annoy me though, you know what? Before we get too deep, because I usually like to start the episode in about 5 minutes. So we're going to talk for about another 5 minutes for everyone that's watching along. If you want to watch over on Twitch in our watch party, go to our Twitch, which I will put a link in chat in a second, and in the watch party and watch. You need to have a Twitch account hooked up to your Amazon account, and then you can watch. If not, you could just follow along, watching on a separate tab or something, and I'll call out times throughout the episode. But anyway, the one little tidbit that annoyed me was when they buried Jolene or Julian or whoever. I don't remember how to pronounce her name. The Aiel, it was definitely a grave that was horizontal, like they were laying down. and Aiel are supposed to be buried standing up. Like that's such what's up?
I thought that was the Shanarans were standing up.
No,
Is Aiel? Okay.
Yeah, the Shanarans are the exact what they've been doing with the Shanarans, where they lay them out with the candles and everything. They've done their burial. Fine. The like not burying the Aiel standing up is a like why not? Like it's such a little lore thing to leave in. You know what I mean? Like it's just literally a smaller pile of rocks. It's probably cheaper. I just either there was a mistake and the prop guy or the set designer made the wrong size gravesite and it was an overlook, or
but I mean we're gonna obviously see it again. So you would, if you were burying someone standing up, you would have to make a hole bigger than them. And I don't know if the hole that they dug is big enough for a laying down person. I think that they would have mentioned it if, you know, Perrin was like, what, why is it so small? Like, but it would have to be kind of bigger to dig down so that it's not like just a me-size hole.
Yeah. They would have to dig deeper. It would have to be taller than the person. But like that's just how the Aiel do the things. And
but the hole itself would need to. It's not going to be like.
I get what you're saying. It wouldn't just be like the hole would be wider. It wouldn't just be this thin cylindrical hole. I see what you're saying.
Right. Yeah. It would have to be the width of her hips and shoulders. Basically, like a little bit wider than that. Yeah.
But also wider than that, because if you've ever dug in the sand, the whole
it falls in. That's right. And they were in sandy. Yeah. They were in a sandy area.
Yeah. Hold on. I have an image. Of course I have an image.
I was gonna say that's what Tom does. He has images.
There we go. So like this to me says they buried them horizontally.
They buried them laying down.
Yeah, it's because of how wide it is, I think. Yeah. It's because it's longer, and if it was wider this way, then I would say it was a hole.
It was a circle rather than a line.
And usually they cover bodies with rocks so that like animals don't get to them, or because they couldn't dig in the ground because it's frozen or it's too hard or they don't have a shovel or whatever. But
I mean, did they have a shovel?
No, but they're also in the desert. So, but you know, I don't know. It feels like just a weird thing. It's probably a stupid thing to harp on, but it's also just like, why not just make a tiny pile and talk about how they buried him standing up? Like it takes 2 seconds. But,
I mean, there are stupid things that I harp on all the time. So it's not really, we all have our thing that's going to annoy us.
It's just like such a small lore thing that I feel like why change or why do anything about, but whatever. All right.
Maybe because they didn't want to explain it. I mean, they're
still
explaining what toe is.
I am thinking they probably left that out to put the scene in of her meeting her toe and then explaining that, as opposed to taking the time to explain the standing up burial,
which is more important to the 2 minutes that I have. Explaining what toe is that's going to come back several times, or explaining that we bury our dead standing up that might never come back again. I mean, I'm sure that it will, because
or maybe even not explain it, just leave it. Just leave it. I'm going to stop fighting it. Though they were concerned about timing, we know for sure, because they actually cut the opening sequence specifically for timing. Like the reason they cut out the opening sequence, they've said, was specifically to add more time to the episode.
Yeah.
So, all right. I think that's long enough for everyone to get Twitch queued up and to get their episodes queued up for whoever is not watching on Twitch. So I'm going to start the episode on Twitch now. It takes a few seconds for it to load. So if you're watching separately, go ahead and press play. And then once it actually is rolling on Twitch, I'll let you guys know, and I'll give you guys a timestamp so you can catch up. But it should be starting. It says 10 seconds or 13 seconds, actually. If that is actually true, I don't know. And we do not skip the recap. Save the recap. Do not skip the recap. We love the recap around here.
I think in this case, it's probably really important. Yeah. So much has been happening.
Yes. And my favorite thing that they started doing, I don't remember when they started, but I remember when it. I don't remember exactly when it started, but I remember it starting because I remember like one day just noticing like TV shows wouldn't just recap the last episode. They would recap the episodes that are pertinent to the episode that's currently coming on.
Yeah.
And I like that they continue doing that, and they do it in this too. See, like this wasn't the last episode when Perrin rescued Avienda. We're at 45, 46, 47, 48. Okay, so speaking of the Matt, you're gonna kill Rand. Ishamael knew about that vision, and she didn't tell anybody. So, do we think that that was a fake vision?
No.
No. So then, how did Ishamael know about it?
Who did she? Are we sure? I mean, she could have dreamt about it and he saw it in her dream. Like, I don't know, because we don't have a lot of information about exactly how men's visions work,
Yeah.
right?
So I
Right.
have
So we
one-
don't.
Oh.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say I have one comment before this prequel preview thing goes
Yeah.
away.
20 years ago.
The blues in this are way sharper and way brighter and way more saturated than they have been any other time in the present day. So
it was like like are they trying to tell us like they were before they were sullied or something? Or
I mean but they're also talking about their future. Like, what are they gonna do? The
Yes,
war is
yeah.
now over. It's a little bit more happy.
Yeah.
Whereas we get into, and then Swan, I mean, we no longer see her in blue.
Mhm.
But all of Moraine's blues are super dark. And it could be a traveling thing, dark colors. These are probably satins and silks
Mhm.
and like lighter stuff. But that like lightness of garment and color, I feel like is very important in this particular scene.
Yeah.
And I just wanted, because that's why you have me here.
Yes.
Wanted to point those out before we got super off topic.
No, absolutely.
So to me, for me, it was representing that they were new Aes Sedai also, right? Like they were recently raised. They're still bright and shiny.
That's true.
Like they haven't been through anything yet except the arches.
Look at Katara's dress compared
Right.
to theirs. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like almost like they're proud. They're so proud that they chose blue and were accepted. And look, I'm a blue, as opposed to as an older Aes Sedai, like, yes, I am a blue, but maybe when I'm out and about, I don't need it to be a noticeable thing.
Yeah.
Because is it safe for me to be a blue?
And we see that in Felme.
Mhm.
Yeah, with the yellow.
Right,
And
it is.
Did either of you pick up that this was Haley Mills, Katara more so? You know who Haley Mills is? Was I the only one that was like, Haley Mills? No? Okay.
No.
She's a famous, she was in the Parent Trap, like the original Parent Trap. And
Oh!
yeah.
So in my mind, if I don't see actors and actresses as they're aging, very rarely can I recognize them.
Fair
If
enough.
I only saw them at one age, I'm horrible at it. Brian can pick out, what's his name? Sirius Black, no matter what character he is. Gary Oldman. Brian can find him in any disguise.
Yeah, that man, he's a character actor and a half.
Yes. Yes.
She's 77, by the way.
Wow.
She looks good. I love Swan's tattoos too. You get a really better look at more of her tattoos, especially the ones on her arm. Really make me think of the Polynesian tattooing that they do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I could see that, Arosa. The cold open wasn't like, especially for such a big episode like this, it was a little. I feel like this cold open would have served better earlier in the season.
Yeah,
but I think they needed this cold open because they wanted to make sure you connected to the last scene. Like they had to have that balance.
That's true.
Yeah.
So you could see how far things had gone.
Yeah. And they haven't really done. I mean, maybe they have done that many like flashbacks within.
It was a flashback within a flashback.
It was.
What did
I
wait?
hate
What did
that.
what
Well,
did
for us, it was a flashback for us, but it was happening real time within the flashback.
Yeah.
Our guest last week was his name is Reverse BLT. He calls it the future past. And
Yes, that's where real time takes place in the future past.
In the future,
past. I thought that was a good description.
It's so Ukrainian,
Yeah,
and I love it.
it's the it has very strong European and Japanese influences. The Kyrian, but her dress looks very like Roman Empire Pope.
Mhm.
It's very Russian Ukrainian.
Yeah, yeah.
I also, can we have a moment to appreciate that she travels with
Her throne.
the throne?
Yeah.
Yes, so my husband asked
When I
me,
saw
he was
that, I was like, holy
"She-
shit.
yes, she is the Amerlin seat, and she's gonna have her seat."
Right? I wonder if
Like-
it like folds up into like
The carriage.
Well,
like
it's got to
like
separate.
part of
Yeah.
the
It's got to separate. Yeah.
Maybe it's part of the carriage. Like they
Yeah.
build.
Well,
I think it's probably part of the carriage.
oh,
So
now I got to look at the carriage again.
Hopper. It's they it actually took no time to make because they just raided the old Russian czar's closets and
Yeah, puffy embroidery like that is a hassle. So yeah, they probably had people working on that for a very long time.
oh, because it's all raised embroidery. So
Yeah.
and this is like a little nod to the teaching scene that they had in
Yes,
Shinar.
Shinar. Yeah.
Great Hunt. Yeah.
Yeah. I was happy when I saw this. I was like, oh, we're gonna get it. We're gonna get a little bit of it. So,
Yeah. Also, just to remind everyone in chat, we are only book 1 and 2 spoilers for the first bit of the show. Until the episode's over, we'll do an announcement. Then we'll do full book spoilers for anyone that is watching that is not finished the series.
I'm a little sad that Logain has taken the place of Lan in the teaching, but also like Daniel Henney can do no wrong. So like the more time I see him, the better I am.
That's fair. I think the idea of Logain teaching him early was a red herring. I think that was.
you think? Do you think we're still gonna get Asmodean?
Yeah.
No.
Oh,
you do? Okay.
Absolutely. I think we're still getting Asmodean in a similar character as we had him in the books. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, we're not even. It's too far.
Yeah, we can't get too far. Well, it's too far ahead. We can't jump that far ahead.
So
and that is true.
But I know we've got the one with the guitar. Yeah.
Right there in the middle.
They didn't even take away. I think they didn't take away any of the women Forsaken who we don't see a lot.
Yeah.
Like when they mention them, the women in when
Lanfear mentions, she says Masana. No, she says
Mogedian.
Mogedian.
Does she say
Yeah.
Yes, those are the two she names, and then she says the boys.
There is a fourth one though, because
so I guess Semirog isn't in there.
No,
Semirog. I don't think she.
Yeah, no. So hold on. So in the middle here we have Balsamon and Lanfear, and then on far left and far right are women, or at least I would think, based off of their hips, chest, head, chins, and stuff like that. The designs of the statues.
Yeah.
They look like women. So that says there's 4 women and 4 men, which is that makes sense.
It's balanced. Yeah.
But
I don't think we're getting Cimarron.
No. And I think they told us that with Lanfear wearing black in the World of Dreams. Because Mirage was the one that wore black and Lanfear never wore black. So I think they're telling us that they put them together.
Yeah. And they keep mentioning how cruel Lanfear was. And I feel like in the books, they didn't harp on that. She wasn't cruel. She was heartbroken. She was heartbroken and lashing out.
And that's the one thing I didn't like about Lanfear in the books. I was like, this character is so one-dimensional, and I'm really upset that the only costume that I really want to make is Lanfear's.
It is. Which one? Because they're both beautiful.
The one at the end of this.
Yeah, I really like that one.
I was like, God, but I don't like her.
I love Natasha O'Keefe.
The actress, yeah.
Yeah.
She's doing a good job.
The like the vista shots of Kyrian are just beautiful.
Yeah, Matt has not changed.
Not even a little.
The first episode of season 1.
I mean, except the face.
I got nothing on this person other than I'm pretty sure it's a man and they're white. Based off of the hand and the way their body is shaped.
Yeah.
Like, that's all I got on that person. Okay, also, I got a question, and this is for everybody, chat included. Traveling, yes or no? Because how did they get there this quickly? There's no way Lanfear opened up the waygate in the middle of the thing and carried Matt. Like, this has got to be within a few minutes because it's the same day.
I mean, she could have traveled. She could have skimmed.
We know that they know.
Right. I don't think they're. But that's true. We
don't know if they left it in the show.
That's true. Like, yes, the Forsaken should know, but I mean, at the end of this, they're talking about the weave, and that was something that should have been common knowledge, right? And it wasn't.
So do you think that they're in Tel'aran'rhiod right now, or that they went through Tel'aran'rhiod to get there? Because like I thought that they might be in Tel'aran'rhiod at first too, especially because the seals were in that room, but I'm not sure they're actually in Tel'aran'rhiod or not.
So they may give us traveling through Tel'aran'rhiod because they've already shown us waygates. They might not show us traveling the way we have it in the books, because if you think about it, there's 4 different ways eventually to get around.
Yeah.
Super fast. They may just give us waygates and just tell us that you can do it in the dream world.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Because they didn't give us the portal stone either, did they? We haven't seen a portal stone.
No.
So because I think for the amount of episodes we have, and for how many people who are not familiar with it, there's no point. There's no point in giving them all these multiple ways to do basically the same thing.
Yeah.
I like the idea of it being a gray man. Like no one noticed that person. So that entirely.
That is true. That is true. And it could be.
Ooh, that person had a name and I missed it. It was like, I want to say Mulan. I know it wasn't Mulan. But
Mulan. It was close enough.
It was like Mulean or something.
Muleen, maybe?
Yeah. Oh, it's so creepy seeing Megan there. So the scarification on Mulan's face and the scarification on Renna's face are similar but different.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure. Like it has to depict something, but I'm not sure. And then
maybe maybe it depicts where they're from.
Yeah, maybe, or who owns them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I could think of.
I will say though, and I know that they're wigs, but I love the braids just because Avi has not let me braid her hair in a very long time. Aww. And I like doing her hair in braids. So.
I love that the Browns are like sneaky. Spy-y. They're being all sneaky.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean you don't really think of it as for Browns.
Hey, they control the information.
But also, like, go ahead.
You go ahead. You're the guest.
I was gonna say, like, with that plaid, girls go in dark academia hard with those plaids and the little cape.
I discovered dark academia as a style recently, and that's how I want to decorate my entire house. By the way, if you want to Google dark academia interior decoration, and you'll be like, "Oh, that's amazing."
It's so nice.
Yeah.
I was gonna say though.
Yep.
Yes.
My husband watched that and he was like, "Is that Cho Chen?" And I was like, "I think it is."
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But it's easy for Browns to be sneaky because nobody suspects it.
That's true. They always think that they're like doddering and their heads in the clouds.
The nice, quiet ones that aren't paying attention and are so focused on stuff. When you are the well-behaved one that doesn't get into trouble, you can get away with so much.
Yeah. So this is where I had to eat crow. I
know. And Tom, I was feeling for you as it was happening. I was like, dang it, they really fooled. Tom had me convinced.
Yeah.
Like I was rolling with you, Tom. I was like, absolutely.
I was like I was waffling on whether he was like a purposeful dark friend or she was just like manipulating him. But I tripled down on her being the dark friend.
No.
They just. But I mean, Tom, you were convincing. You were very convincing. There were a lot of things that made it seem like that's exactly what it was.
She's still wearing that black lace, the same thing that Lanfear wears.
So now you know that one of the questions we're gonna have for Rafe was that on purpose? Was that a red herring? Were you trying to throw us off?
I bet you he was. I bet you he was.
But also, so if they're very Dutch, like Kathryn is very Dutch in their garments, and black lace was very, very common, especially if she was grieving in any way. Like that was a thing.
Yeah, but Red, who knows that besides you?
The costumers. That's
yes, but I'm just saying. I am guessing that Rafe was like, the costumers will know, but nobody else will.
And the costume designers, I guess, right? I mean, the designer on the show.
The designers on the show would know, and they would be like, this would be a great thing to do to throw everybody off.
Yeah.
So
we could bring up the thing that Moore brought up earlier, I think, at this point, because Lan is already fishing for information at this point.
Mm-hmm.
I think Lan figuring out Moiraine is shielded and not stilled is a perfectly viable thing, seeing as Lan isn't like just an idiot with a sword. Like, he's not your classic barbarian, male Conan the Barbarian.
Right, he's smart. Yeah. I mean, you guys have, everybody has to remember that at least Bookland was still educated to be a king by the people who had him.
Yeah, by other kings as well, because he traveled to all the borderlands and stayed with all the kings.
Right, but also Moiraine has become his purpose in life. That is his purpose. He is going to have to try. It was in him to try to find a way. Like he even says it at the end. Like he was not going to let her wither away. Wherever he could see a slither of hope, that's where he was going. And you're right. He's not stupid. He wouldn't have lasted this long if he was a stupid man.
And I mean, you're also traveling with someone and feeling all their emotions for what, like 20-something years?
Right.
Like, I can't even imagine.
And the thing that tipped him off was that Moiraine never felt like she wanted to commit suicide. Yeah. And they like, that is the common thing for everyone that has ever been gentled or stilled, is that they want to commit suicide afterwards. And yeah.
And well, never mind. I can't say that because it might be a spoiler. So never mind. Yeah, that's fair. If I'm not sure, I don't say it.
So
I will say
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I was just gonna say this scene was interesting to see, showing like a fully trained, powerful channeler versus someone who just has raw strength.
Yeah. Like, I enjoyed this scene a lot.
Me too.
Yeah.
It's and this is a great way to have Rand's start of mistrusting women who can channel, mostly Aes Sedai. Like we know mid-book Rand was very mistrusting.
Right.
And that's not a spoiler. Like, Rand doesn't die in the middle of the series.
Damn! Don't tell him that.
I know.
All I was gonna say is I like him with his haircut. I like him better with the haircut. But also, like, the amount of emotion that he's got on his face once that shield is in place. Like, I'm very happy with the Rand that Yosha has given us thus far.
He's been great.
I'm very If
there's one thing that no one can say is anything about the acting in this show.
Yeah, no. And I can tell you one thing. I want somebody to complain about Egwene. Please do, because I am going to let you have it. I don't care what she looks like. If that is not Egwene Alvear, then I'm not Ebony Adamanis, because that she absolutely.
We are 19 minutes and 45 seconds. What's that?
I love the Shan-Chan.
Yes, you are right. He and I remember pointing that out as well. That he said it even from then, and we questioned it like as a change from the books, because we know that people did like single people did steal still and gentle other solo people. So like this is a change that it maybe takes more effort of the one power to actually cut somebody off than it did in the books, which is cool. It's an interesting thing.
Right.
It means that you can't just do it willy-nilly.
Right. Yeah.
This is like, also, if you notice, Egwene's still not using her hands.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder what part, like what the thing that goes in their mouth looks like, because they don't have rubber or silicone.
It's probably metal to be that much more uncomfortable for them,
Yeah.
right? Like it's a metal binky. That is a solid metal binky for all intents and purposes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sick. Kitty. I got so happy. I have so many pictures of that cat. I took so many images of that cat.
So look, I was like, Brian, did it have 6 toes? And he's like, what are you talking about? I'm like,
It does not have 6 toes. I checked.
I was like, Egwene's cat had 6 toes. The one in the river, did this one have 6?
Scratch. There was Scratch, by the way.
Scratch. And he just, I think it was one of those moments where he was considering life choices he had made. Because it's like, am I really sitting here with this woman who has birthed my children asking me about this cat's toes?
Yeah. It looked like all of the Damane, and we could check later when we pull up the image.
No, they all have matching hair. All the Damane and all the Saldam have matching hair.
Yeah, I thought so. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you
I'm checking out the braids. So.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
If you notice, Nynaeve is still wearing a form of yellow. Although in this scenario, it's not that out of place because everything is freaking yellow and red.
Right, with the dust and everything. Like no matter what it started, it's gonna have a tinge. Yeah.
I literally hate it. Like I hate it.
Looks like everything is washed in
when Matt walks out and you just see the heat, and I'm like, no, God, no,
you feel it,
no. Give me that long ass winter. I'm here for it, please.
How did Loyal recognize Elaine immediately? Like
he reads.
He reads. I guess
he reads.
But also, so here's the thing: in the books, she was supposed to just look very much like her mother. Yeah. Like I know when I go home to Quantown, people I don't know, like that's Leslie's daughter. So maybe it's just he had seen Morghese at some point in his travels. He may have seen Elaine at some point in his travels. Because when we meet him, we don't know how far he's been.
It's true.
I love this part.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no, he doesn't in a minute. So I'm pretty sure, by the way, that's ayahuasca, or it's supposed to be. Like that's what like ayahuasca bark looks like. And you can shave it into a dust and put it into a tea and drink it. Like that is an absolute way that you can take ayahuasca. So,
I mean, as I've said with a lot of things, like this is our world. It's just
future
either, future past. So a lot of the things, I can't wait for the freaking museum. I hope they show the museum.
Oh, they've got to. They've got to.
I just want an Xbox, just like bam.
Yes.
Yeah, the visionary vine, exactly. So forget the museum. They mention in a minute, Ingtar will mention that Turok has a room of curiosities.
Yeah.
Yes.
I can't wait to see that. Like I really hope there's something in there. Something like just in the background on a shelf that's like that is something that's modern or something, you know?
Yes, because
in the books, it's like a car logo, right?
It's Mercedes-Benz logo. Yeah.
It's
and
I feel stupid.
I was gonna say Nynaeve reads it. She's able to read the emotions of it.
Yeah. Instead of feeling like when she picks it up, she feels greed and vanity. So instead, she'll feel stupidity and ego.
Yes. But we also, as book readers, we have to remember, like, unless we have told our non-book reader friends who are watching this where this is set, they don't know that it's our future past, right? I don't think.
No, I think if you're paying attention, there's a.
They're not paying attention. I'm kidding.
Has never read it and is very attentive. But the first, one of the first
That's true. We see the buildings. We see the buildings. Yep.
And the
Yep, we
bridge,
do.
the
That's
long
true.
bridge.
Yeah. That is true. That is true. But
I mean,
even then, I don't know.
It's a lot of
That
Iowa.
just
so
but that just leads. I mean, that can lead you to think that yes, there was a modern world similar to ours, as opposed to it being ours. Like I
Yeah.
really do want Tom. I want Tom to come back and tell the stories at some point.
Len
That
flying to another planet on a
Yeah,
fire or whatever.
yeah. Just because I liked those stories.
Finn and Shiad.
Yeah.
Did
I
we
was-
meet them this early in the books? I don't remember.
No. This is
Mm-mm.
the only IO we meet prior to book 3 or 4.
It's
No,
Gaul.
3 is Gaul. Yeah.
It's Gaul. Yeah. Because
I think it's good that they introduce them now.
Yeah, we are still here.
we're here, Daniel.
The I'm a little upset that they didn't, but I guess they're in a serious mode right now because we got playful scenes with them with the ABC maidens, like from all of the coming attraction stuff and
Right. And there is at the end. There's a little bit at the end.
a little bit, yeah.
A little bit.
Also, remember that we won't even know when they're being playful. Like,
That's true. You're not wrong.
them beating her up could be playful. It's not. I'm not saying it is.
Yeah.
But like,
So yeah, I said it earlier. I'm gonna say it again. I'm a little sad that they made this like it looks like they buried them laying down. Kind of wish they buried them. Like just all you had to do is make a smaller pile.
which, to be fair, would have been easier.
Yeah, and cheaper probably. They had to pay for all those rocks.
Look at my redheaded brethren.
It's a wheel. It's a wheel. It goes in a circle. It's the Daniel. We reverse BLT. Our guest from last week pointed out that it is his term for it was the future past. So that's what I'm going to be calling it from now on. When is Wheel of Time set? The future past. When
No,
is
I did sit down and explain to Avi like where our age is in relationship to the show. And she's just kind of like, all right, Mom. I was like, ma'am, you need to know this. This is your heritage.
Yeah.
And she's
So this is in the books. We know that this is like not dishonorable, but like it's this most simple way. The Aiel grave. It looked like the person was laying down instead of standing up, and the Aiel bury people standing up. The easiest way to meet your toe is through getting beat up. And it's viewed as like a cheap way out.
They do mention it, I believe.
Yeah,
they mention it as they're walking, like parent.
Yeah, she says it wasn't
walking away.
Yeah.
Right.
The one thing I don't know, and this my husband asked this. I don't know if they ever specifically said what the horn would do. I know that the horn isn't in this episode, but I don't remember if they said what the horn did and why it was important.
No, all Turok says is that they could rule the world. Something to the effect of we can rule the world with this. Like we don't. No, he didn't say how or why. And I don't know that he knows how or why.
I don't know if they mentioned it in season 1, and it has just been so long.
No, I don't think they mentioned the horn at all in season 1. They might have mentioned the hunt for the horn, maybe in season 1, but I don't think they did. I don't think they mentioned the horn at all.
Not until the last episode. Not until they took it out from under the chair.
Well, no, Lanfear in the earlier episode says that because they're calling for the hunt, and Karian.
That's season
2. Oh yeah, that's season 2. Yeah. That's season 2.
There he goes.
All right. Little loopy.
So this is definitely Sanaa Hamri's influence of wanting more horror in the show. And like if you know anything about hallucinogenics, like he took one. Like this is it's obvious to anyone who's ever done a hallucinogenic that is what is happening right now. Especially with the ripply everything. That's like
and even the fact that his mom is still the thing that's like standing. First thing that he sees is still his mom, and it's still the same thing from the beginning. Like he hasn't moved,
right?
Character wise,
right?
So the other things, I was a little confused at first, but when I watched it the second time, I got it. So if you see here, that was a different person. That was a black man. Now it's Matt. That's a woman. Now it's Matt. So they're saying like this was
So I thought that this was his going through the portal stone and seeing all his different lives.
Yeah.
That's what we got.
That's what I think they were trying to tell us.
Yeah, well, that's what I said to Brian. I was like, oh, this is how we get it.
Yeah, this is
Because that was important. Like, that was like a turn in the book. That was kind of a turning point for Matt, I felt like, because he saw himself doing something he never thought he was capable of.
Exactly.
It's creepy while being hilarious at the same time. And it's just the two different faces, the pure terror in one and like the sociopathic joy in the other one.
Yeah, it's craziness.
I love Donal. I love him.
I love her face, Sean's face.
Yeah.
When Moraine is telling her to do stuff. She does. She's got a lot of sass in that face. Like, why are you even bothering me, daughter? You can't make me do anything. And I'm mad at you anyway, man. Don't you got some punishment to have.
Yeah, she makes some good faces. I think I got a close up of one good one. Hold on.
I can only hope that I'm making these same faces at work when people come to me with foolishness.
She said, "Boy, what you doing?" That's what that face says. Right
Yeah.
There.
There's like she makes like 5 good ones when she's talking around.
She does. Which I like. I like that she allows herself to show those emotions that way. And I don't know if that is just natural to her or if it's a planned thing because she's talking to Rand. But I feel like she makes faces at Leandra. Like, I feel like she just makes faces. Like, she's like, I'm not going to say it with my words, but because I'm going to make this face at you.
I don't have to waste my words on you.
Right.
You know that you did something dumb.
Yeah.
She is the mother. She is giving mother looks.
It's very much how I teach my high schoolers.
You're not wrong.
I hate this outfit. Boom.
It's weird. It's weird.
So weird.
It's so modern looking.
I know. I know the book that they're using for a lot of these patterns, and it's fun. It's a fun ass book. Don't go into it if you don't know how to sew. And even I am like, that's really hard. But I'm just like, stop it. Some of these patterns don't need to exist in the world. Thank you.
Like that one.
Well, they've got to show how diverse each woman is, no matter what. So they got to give them some craziness.
Her dress is my least favorite one that we've seen so far. It's a nice dress and it's complicated. I'm sure it was difficult to make. It's just my least favorite one so far.
I think the pattern is weird. The silhouette is bizarre. I don't remember what else she has been wearing, but I also don't necessarily think it fits with the silhouettes that she's been wearing.
No, it doesn't. And it doesn't seem like something the character would wear. Though I remember, well, never mind. I can't say that because that's a spoiler. That's too far ahead.
Hold on, you got like another 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Hold that thought.
Yeah, could you imagine all the Aes Sedai just wearing gowns all the time? And that's something that you talk about a lot, Redfield. So I
shawls.
Yeah, so let me bring up your two. So you have an Aes Sedai character that you cosplay as. She is a Borderlander, Malkiri Aes Sedai, and you have a book version and a TV version. So could you imagine an Aes Sedai like trying to ride through the forest in this big giant gown? And first of all, it's beautiful. It's fantastic.
Thank you.
It is.
Not only that, but and I know people are pissed about the shawls, but like you can't do shit with a shawl.
Yeah.
Even I can. At Jordan Con, you can't. Even walking around Jordan Con, you're constantly putting it up and no.
How if you're shooting when we talked about them all sitting, right?
Mm-hmm.
There are 3 women, there are 7 Adras. Do the math. You'd have to do so many takes because somebody is doing something stupid with their shawl at any given point.
Yeah.
Like they're moving it.
Yeah.
It fell like it's
Yeah.
So Landron just said I remembered the look of her at that age. So that means
Mhm.
that they've known
Because
each other.
they were all in the books. Leandrin was accepted when Swan and Moraine were novices.
Yeah, I think they might make her older in the show. I can't tell yet, but I think they made her
I mean,
older.
her son is old.
He's got to be in his 80s.
Yeah.
Right, but we have no way of knowing when she had him.
Yeah.
Well, it would be 80 years ago, but we don't know where she was as far as Aes Sedai.
Yeah,
True,
how old
but we
she
all,
was.
I mean, and we don't know
Yeah.
necessarily how old Moraine is, but I feel like Moraine isn't as old. This is brilliant. Because
Yes.
that's Dae'mar.
Mhm,
everywhere. But I feel like,
and I'll say it again just because I want to make sure I say it. I own up to it. I was wrong.
But you sold it though, Tom. You really sold it because I was on board. I'm telling Brian, I'm pretty sure it's her. It's got to be her. Because how messed up would that be?
I got to congratulate Rafe next time I talk to him. Be like, good job, buddy. You got me.
You got me. And also, like, this is technically brainwashed.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
You can't
that is technically being brainwashed.
Yeah.
This is how you go into a cult. This is how they get you in the cult.
And that is what being a dark friend is. It's a cult.
Yeah.
Like he is literally brainwashing him. He's a philosopher. He's a genius.
Yes.
He's a channeler. Like he's easily, and Matt is the perfect candidate. This version of Matt is the
Matt. Yes, because why not?
Yeah.
Why not? Like what does he have?
Yeah,
because you cannot convince him that it'll be better in the next turning, right?
Yeah, look, he's crying because he wants it to be true. And he's still under the influence of the dagger.
Can we just acknowledge how long Rand's legs are?
Yeah, he's a tall man.
I was like, holy shit.
He's a tall man.
And that is appropriate.
He's got legs for days.
I
love the coat. I love the coat.
Yes. That is a nice coat.
It really is. It has the herons all over the back of it.
The texture is so nice.
And then
it's not just herons, like all birds, and then the bottom is all fish.
Oh yeah, okay.
And just Trinity from the Matrix. Just every time she's in the dream world, she is Trinity.
She doesn't have her big headdress on, so she's not goth Cher right now.
No. Well, that's because she was making a big impression on him then. That was all about presentation there. She was waiting for him to come to.
Yeah. I'm not a big fan of almost all of her looks. But then again, as I said, don't
like her. I was gonna say you're a little bit biased. Like it's part of that is because she's wearing it. Like part of it is Lanfear's wearing it. I don't like it.
It's like it. We haven't seen anything like it. Yay.
Right.
It doesn't make sense with what we've seen from the past, like how they were dressed. Lanfear doesn't necessarily care. So this is my jam.
Yeah, I love this costume. This costume is awesome. The
only costume that I would make, which is depressing because it's her.
The black costume makes me think of Lulu from Final Fantasy X.
I could see it, yeah.
I will pull up an image.
Super Dutch.
I wish I had it ready, but I did not think about it until I didn't think that until I just saw it.
Yeah, it is pretty much a Godzilla moment.
Right there.
Yeah.
That's what it made me think of.
I love her coat.
Him just sitting there staring at himself in the dagger. Are they trying to tell us that he's vain?
He's the young pretty one.
But I mean, but I mean to a point that it's not good.
I don't know if it's that. I think it's just maybe the show kind of the contrast between her two warders, right?
Yeah.
Because the other one, Ivine would never be doing that. Ivine would. He's the young pretty one. He's the young pretty one. Ivine's like, this is foolishness. We have stuff to do. It doesn't matter.
They've already acknowledged that he is pretty vain.
Yeah.
But also, hold on. If he's looking at if he can see his eyes in the reflection, he can also see what's behind him.
That is true. So maybe that is part of an act,
That's true. Okay.
right?
I like
Part
that.
of
Good
an
point.
if he's always doing that, like if
Good
it's
point.
known that he's always looking at himself, it's not suspicious when he's
Good
using
point.
it as a mirror.
Good point.
I'm not saying that
Reflective
that's
surfaces are your
true.
friend.
It's a possibility.
That's
Well,
one
if
of the
it's
first
not
things
true,
you teach you when you go to like security school, because I had to do like training for that when I did bouncing in New York. They reflective surfaces are your friend. That's the first thing they teach.
and I wasn't paying attention. Like, did Alana come into that room talking, or did he talk first when Alana came up behind him?
I didn't notice either.
I didn't notice.
Yeah, because but if he said something to her, now granted he could have heard footsteps, but then that
felt her in the bond.
and he could have felt her in the bond, but then that would kind of lend a little bit more to the theory. Yeah.
Yeah, I got really excited at this part too. Like I'm happy she wasn't stilled, and I'm happy.
Yeah.
My only thought was is if that she was stilled, that they were going to move forward the Nynaeve curing stuff that happens later, forward, and I'm glad they aren't doing that.
This was my pissy moment, because I thought that Lan had taken Nynaeve's like thing, and I was going to be super pissed.
Yeah.
Like, I love both of them, but like Nynaeve is my girl, and I will stab somebody for her.
I thought that too. I thought that he was looking down at the knife, and I'll go back and check the scene after we finish the episode.
If you only,
I mean, he's nice to look at. You can't blame him.
Well, I mean, he was hanging out with Varen and her and Adelise, and I love all of her channeling in this scene.
I love that she's so nonchalant with everything. It's just like,
but also like Rand and Moiraine basically asked her to do this, like
right, because Moiraine is desperate. Yes, but Moiraine is desperate because Moiraine is like, there's nothing I can do. The way I've been trained to do things, I can't do.
I guess, but
right?
like so many innocent people are getting killed right now. Like
when the price of the world is on the line, Tom.
Yeah, she killed all of those horses just so that they could get away.
Right.
Like Moiraine is focused. Yes, she is focused. She has one purpose. So look at it this way, Tom. She gave up the life of happiness she thought she was going to have to pursue this because this was laid on her. Absolutely not. Am I not going to? No, at the last minute, I'm not going to be able to do that. No. Oh, no.
What did they think Lanfear was going to do, though? They know everything about her.
Yeah, they know. They had to know. But sometimes you cannot make an omelet without breaking some eggs. I'm just saying.
That was funny.
Yeah.
I love the, oh my God, is that all water?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, because that has to be terrifying if you've never seen that much water.
Oh, did they sub all of the hand talk in the live one?
They did.
Or is just some of it?
All of it. I believe, yeah.
This all water, how? I don't remember from the other scene. I wasn't paying hard enough attention. Because in the screeners, they don't give us subtitles, but there were subtitles for that one, this all water how, like that was there, but I don't remember. There wasn't any for when they first met up with each other. So
yeah. This is brilliant.
No, there weren't subtitles when they first met up.
Okay. You're not wrong.
Brilliant.
So we're finding out that Suldam can channel really early.
Yeah. Oh, this part where she's braiding her braid.
She's putting it back in.
Yes. I was like, yeah, they messed with the wrong one. I absolutely am a woman. I am a woman.
Not a damane. This part is super gross.
Yeah.
I don't like it. Not like gross, like ew, gross, like
it's creepy. Yeah, it's creepy.
Gross. Yeah. It's like washing your dog is what it made me think of. And like, ugh.
I mean,
Like, that's how they
what
view them. And I mean, they're
Yeah.
doing it great. They've done a great job at depicting how the Shanshin view their slaves, essentially. And it's creepy and horrible, and it makes me hate them more, which is exactly what they want us to do. So
she's just a show dog.
yeah, I mean, that's what she basically said to her. Is like, don't embarrass me. Like, make me look good. And like,
I don't know. That whole scene in 7 was rough. Like, Egwene coming to like, oh
yeah.
Yeah.
And now I
Yeah.
really understand. I'm excited for the next episode to see her get some revenge, hopefully. But when they had the New York City Comic Con in 2022, and all the actors were like, "Oh my God, Madeline's acting this season. Madeline has some powerful scenes that like I fully understand."
Yes, yeah, no. That's why I'm saying you can't tell me that's not Egwene out there. I will fight you.
Yeah, you're right. Like, it was a weapons display, kind of what they did earlier.
Yeah.
It felt like an equestrian event / weapons display. And here it is.
Yes,
I love her.
I love
face
this.
when she says it. It's so like definitive.
And then
And she
just
looks
the shock.
so
Like, what
hopeful.
what?
Yeah.
And then she goes right back to braiding her hair. I hope she does. I hope she does. I really hope she does get the revenge.
I'm sure she will. This part.
Yeah. I love the uniforms for Kyrian. They look really good. The soldier uniforms from like around the castle too look cool. I have images of those from earlier in the episode. You can check them out later. Yeah, they're just gonna walk you into your aunt's room, the Aes Sedai, and let you kill her.
But also, like, does he not know how the house is built?
No, it's not his house. That's the palace.
Okay.
They're in because when he was going to kill Maureen, who Leandrin said she's in a room in the palace.
Okay. I still thought it was at his mom's house, and I was like, does he not know what his mom's house looks like?
Yeah. I doubt they have cell-like rooms in
This is Kyrian. Like,
yeah, you're not wrong. Dae'mar does get a little dirty sometimes.
You've got to hide somebody away.
Yeah, I love for hearing first-time readers like interpretations of things. It's my favorite part of this.
I sometimes ask my husband, like, what do you think just happened?
Yeah, that's a good point. The justice
Yes.
scene. That's a good point. I like this version of Barthanes better too, or Barthanes. He's not. He's like a sniveling little shit, and I think that's a better version of him.
Yeah, because in the book he was very charming and confident and very.
Yeah. This makes more sense as a rich, pompous,
Could easily be taken in by.
Yeah.
Yes.
My girl, Varen.
Yeah. I like her more.
Requires your strength.
I liked Varen, but I like her more in this.
So she says.
I also like the moment that they have Maureen and Rand about what this feels like. How being shielded feels in comparison to the one power.
Yeah, that was the next hint, also, or another hint. when she describes to him what she's feeling, and it's exactly what he's feeling. So she says to him, the Amaryllis requires your assistance to defend Kyrian, which is true.
Mhm.
That is a true statement.
That was true. Yeah, I don't think she lied.
She didn't lie.
She didn't lie.
She didn't lie.
I was told to watch the boy. She
And
didn't say who
everybody
told
was
her.
right. She just said she was told, and pretty much.
She could have asked Thomas to tell her that.
Yeah.
Thomas, tell me to watch the boy.
Yeah, I mean, no, her and her sister could have discussed it and been like, we need to watch the boy.
And then she said that was an order.
And it was.
It was. It was an order from her, not from the Amaryllis.
That's right. She absolutely was older. So, and more powerful.
Yep. She's more powerful than the end. It would seem in the show.
Yeah. I just want all of Alana's clothes.
For real, and her accessories.
Hair, and I love it.
Yes. Yeah, all of that. That is, I got to convince Brian that I actually need that.
Hello.
He's a richer version of Pater as Barthanas. That's a good point.
Yeah.
This is a great scene too. The not Min is there in the front.
We just knew she was Min. We just knew she was Min. And that again, Tom, you're real convincing with your arguments, and I'm just rolling with it. I'm like, I am your ride or die, Tom, when it comes to your theories.
I appreciate you. I was right about some stuff.
You were, and that's what it is. You're right about just enough stuff for me to be like, he's probably right.
This looks awesome, by the way.
It does.
I love the way the linking looks. I love the way the One Power looks this season now that they actually have a budget for coloring the weaves. I'm not sure they completely have combined Alana and Myro, but we'll talk about that a little bit more when we go full book spoilers. I'm going to star that so that I remember to talk about that.
I know I'm in the same boat with you, and we'll talk about it after. But the one thing that I was dead set that they did, they didn't do. So,
I do like how they did this. Like, in the book, in book one, how they had the Waygate just in like a random basement in Camelin. Like, so I like how they did this. It's just like built into a wall.
It's just a wall.
Yeah. The cutting of the weave too was a little crazy. Like, I'm glad they made that.
Yeah, but like, how did he know? Like, Moraine really? I don't know if she trusted Rand or trusted Lan. Like, I don't know where the trust was lying there, because she can't see what he's doing, and neither can Lan.
Nope.
Yeah,
they're just.
I mean, I think at that point, you just have like. He also hasn't been channeling that long, and I'm pretty sure that this conversation didn't come up when he talked to Logain.
Yeah,
so
no, especially because tying weaves off isn't a thing yet.
Right, it isn't a thing. But this is like letting Avi do stitches on me in an emergency situation, like or like cutting a splinter out, and just like I don't.
I gotta trust you, because if not, I'm stuck like this until I find another male channeler.
They just have to give some of that money to the budget and then allow them to make more than 8 episodes, and then we'd be set.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
or longer. Like, I'll sit and watch this for 3 hours. I'll watch a 3-hour episode.
And I'm going back to like you don't need all of these characters.
We
might love some characters, but you don't need them all.
Cutting her in was perfectly fine with me.
Yes, yeah. It made more sense, and it let Perrin's storyline develop better, right?
Yeah. I just want to point out, like, in the books, we learn later for other reasons that untying weaves like this is very dangerous and difficult. So the fact that they made this look like a little scary, I like that they did that. Yeah.
And she did a really good reaction of when she can feel it again. Like, she can feel it again.
Yeah.
She made a great. I have a still of her face from that. The music for this entire season has been fantastic. Lauren Balfe and Nicole Kopelkar are two of the. Lauren is the main guy, and Nickel. He was. He's a friend of the show. He's been a guest before. He worked on this season, and it's been like his dream to do that. So it's awesome that he got to do that. And the music this season has just been on point. Both seasons have been great, but like this season in particular, it's been leaps and bounds. Just every part of this season is leaps and bounds better than the first season.
Yeah.
Also, I want you to. I want to point out
times before.
21 seconds it took her to open that way gate. I'm going to point that out. That'll become pertinent in a minute.
Oh.
Also, no sign of Swan's warder once.
No,
Maybe she doesn't have one.
She had one in the
book.
She
had one in the book. In the books.
But to be fair, we also didn't see him in the books.
We didn't. No.
We just heard that he died.
Yeah.
Well,
spoiler.
I would mention. I feel like they did mention him, like he would be around, like he would run errands, and like maybe he would be sitting out where Liana's desk was. Like I feel like you would hear people talk about him, and I want to say she even mentioned that he was bored.
Yeah.
Now at this point, because she was the Amerlin and she never do anything. But I feel like they would take it away here, based on how this scene plays out, that they're not going to have her have one in the show.
Yeah, there's almost this is another one of those, like, there are some characters that you don't need.
Yeah,
that was one character that you don't. You see,
I love the visualization of the Oath Rod taking control of her. By the way,
yes,
it's really cool.
Yeah. And honestly, I'm gonna say all the emotions that come from the situation with Swan and her warder. I think this is it. Like, this is essentially those emotions, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I think this will have more meaning. It's a better visual than trying to explain the bond and then what happens. And yeah.
But like, I'm not sure yet, because I liked her in. She had a lot of sass and was very funny and like poignant in the one episode of Supernatural that she was in. But
I think we just haven't gotten to see her shine.
Yeah, we need to see her act more. So like I'm willing to hold out on Leanne.
Yeah, we haven't seen. Sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead. You're the guest.
We haven't seen her in a non-official role.
Yeah.
Right.
We're not going to be like fun and energetic in an official role.
Yeah.
Swan isn't even, that
right.
Well, she's always sarcastic.
Watch how long. Watch how long it takes for Lanfear to open up the Waygate when she opens it.
I'm super ready now.
Yeah, I mean, you don't really have to pay attention that hard. It's like 1 second. She just goes and it's open. I love her costume here. It's so awesome.
This is the only costume I would make.
This is, the white and silver is very Lanfear.
Lanfear, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Look at that. Open. That's
done.
It. 1 second.
Yeah. Oh, but what I was going to say was, in the book, we know that Leon was a co-conspirator, right? With Swan and Moraine. Like, she was brought into the fold.
Yeah. Here,
she has not been. So we're not going to see the same one we saw in the book yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it seems like it was literally only them two up until Varen and Alana found out.
Yeah.
No, well, I feel like she knew some of the details, because she might not have known who else Swan was working with, but she worked too closely with Swan. I think there was stuff Swan didn't tell her, but I think she knew that there was some kind of mission that Swan was going on. So sad.
And that is the episode.
All right.
So
good.
I'm gonna give everyone a minute. So if anyone hasn't finished the books, we're gonna switch over to the full spoilers now. So I'm gonna throw up our other banner. So before we go too spoilery, I'm just going to give anyone who doesn't want to stick around for that a minute or so to leave. But that was like every episode gets better and better. And I'm really enjoying this. Oh, hey, Cliff, what's up? I hear a lot of talk about Matt in the show working because Matt didn't do much in the first 2 books. Matt did in the episode 2 and 3. Remember, so I mean, Matt did a lot in the first 2 books, is with him being, you know, with the shield, with the dagger, with Shadow Logoth. But that was really all he did. I mean, other than his influence with the dagger, he didn't do really anything other than be Rand's mascot. So
yeah.
Nothing to really push the story much further.
Right.
Not until, so now that we're full spoilers, so not until Shadow Rising did he really come to fruition. But like he had a lot of really poignant scenes in Dragon Reborn, especially when he used the fireworks to blow up the section of wall in the tier, and like he had a lot of really good poignant scenes.
Right. They don't really get into his character arc too much at first, because he's just kind of, it's just him and Rand on the road taking care of each other. But
so good, it was so good.
Yeah, but and then it's him under the it's just them surviving to get to where they're getting.
Yeah,
so.
It's true. It's absolutely
That's true. Yeah. You're right. He didn't, because he was very much trying to not do too much, right? Because that was the Matt we got in the beginning, the lazy Matt that just wanted to kind of gamble and just hang around and not do anything, which we do kind of have here. Like the stuff that he does is to survive. It's not, and it's the easiest, quickest way, right? Not the hard working way. It's the let me gamble, let me steal, let me do it quick. So
I mean, almost a younger. He's emotionally behind the other 2. Even in the books, when they leave, he has a lot of growing to do, but he doesn't get that growing until we get farther into the series.
Honestly, it's not until after he has the ordeal with the dagger, and I honestly think it's him realizing what happened afterwards, and him having all those all that lost time of what happened, like when he realized this is real, like this is real life.
I think they're all the reluctant hero, but Matt's
just the loudest.
and the most driven to be not to be the hero. Like he fights it. Well, I mean, he fights it all the way through the end of Shadow Rising.
So I think that's a lot. I think that's a lot of bluff and bother. I think that Two Rivers upbringing, because even with this Matt, you see how he cared for his little sister, right?
Yeah.
So very, very much, he is all about protecting those that need to be protected. He is not about putting himself in harm's way.
No, it's more
purposely.
It's more not just the reluctant hero. It's more the reluctant leader. Like Perrin to some extent is that.
I mean, some extent, all the time.
The gradient is Rand is the least, Perrin is the middle, and Matt is the most, I think. Because Matt resists it right up until he is literally, the pattern forces him to lead the Band of the Red Hand in the battle outside of Kyrian. Like,
but go ahead.
I was gonna say, but Perrin goes home and just sits there for
that's because his literal entire family was murdered.
Listen, I know you really love Perrin.
Yeah, I really love Perrin. But then it's his hometown, so he doesn't want to lead the people that spanked
I can get it.
Up,
I can get it. As being a younger person and then having to go tell your elders that raised you what to do would be very uncomfortable for Perrin. Like that would go against almost everything he was taught.
In some ways, he does. He resists being a leader until the last battle, Matt. But when he gets the Band of the Red Hand, that protectorness that we see in early Matt here, which I think they're doing better in the show than they did in the books.
Yes, very true.
Comes out. It comes out like if you go back and read the scenes when he literally tries to run away from Rand outside of Kyrian.
And so also with the way they're doing show Matt, he essentially has no family, right? All he's really got is his little sisters. The band then become his family, and it also gives a better explanation for why he cares so much for all there, right? Like this could be my little brother. This is a kid
Yeah.
just out here with nobody to care for them.
Yeah.
This is a good thing, Cliff. So I have a pet theory that Perrin might actually be the one to blow the horn in the show.
Really?
Yeah. So I'm wondering.
I think Matt needs it. I think this Matt needs it.
I-
But if he's rolling with Ishii, he can't.
Yeah, unless unless
I mean,
we
Perrin at
learn-
the moment is closest.
yeah,
No,
Yeah.
that's
No, Matt's there
Matt
now
is
too.
closer.
Matt
Matt's
is
there now,
closest because
but
Perrin was looking across the
literally-
water at the city.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, Matt is in the city. The horn is
Mhm.
in with Turok. So like we don't know who's gonna get there first. Probably Rand, to be honest. But
But he can't blow it.
no,
You can't let him blow it.
No, he's not gonna blow it. But it all depends on what happens with the stabbing of Rand. I'm pretty sure. I think just off the cuff right now, I think we're gonna find out that the vision that Min had with him stabbing Rand was fake. That Ishii somehow manipulated Min to see that, and Matt is going to resist doing that, and then he'll blow it. I think it's either going to be that, or he's going to stab him, and they're going to set Matt up to be a little bit of a villain, and then have a redemption arc in season 3. Those are the only two ways that can go. I feel like.
I'm not going to ride and die with you on this particular theory, because this is what I think. I think it was a vision, but if we are going by Min's
wait,
vision,
one more thing. Also,
Huh.
if he stabs Rand, that could be the wound that never heals.
okay, so that is acceptable. But in the books, Min says that the visions are not always certain, but when she knows, she knows. This vision that she saw to me was it did not seem as solid as maybe some of the other ones she saw. I think she's more worried that this will come true after meeting Matt. But I think this is still one of those visions that are it could be. I don't think it's a solid vision.
That would be cool. I mean, the quarterstaff. I'm not sure about the redstone doorway that early, but that would still be cool.
Yeah. But I don't, because my concern is he would be stabbed because Matt still has the dagger, right? They did. They took it. That's right. They took it. They took it.
But in the preview for the next episode, we see
But Min
the dagger.
says the dagger with the red ruby on the handle. So that would be the dagger. We
That
we
is the
can't
dagger. Yeah.
use that dagger on Rand. We can't. He's got enough people in his head. We
That's
don't.
why
We don't need
he doesn't need Mashadar in there too.
Yeah, right.
anybody else in there. So I do think it was a real vision, but I do not think it was a certain vision.
Okay.
I don't think it was for certain. I think this will be the point. Do I think that there's going to be a scene where Ishii is pushing him to do it? Maybe, but I think maybe this is when we're going to see maybe Matt start to turn the corner a little bit.
All right, I'm gonna get a poll up on YouTube. So if you're not watching on YouTube, you want to participate in the poll, go over to our YouTube channel. And while you're on the way there, make sure to click that little bell,
Like,
and
follow, and subscribe.
Yeah.
Subscribe button and all that jazz, because it helps us out. And then we
It
get to
does,
do more
it does.
stuff. We're almost so we got affiliate on Twitch, and I'm setting up my schedule for game streaming for next week, and then either next week or the week after I'm going to start. And the more subscriptions we get on YouTube and Twitch, the more I'm learning this as we go. So for those who know it, I'm sorry. The more tools unlock to us that we get to use in our stream. So if you haven't already followed us, go and follow us, please.
Oh, I wanted to. There was a comment in the thread. I was super wrong that Leandrin and Elida were going to be one character. I do.
You're not yet. Not yet.
No, but we know that they've cast her.
We don't know that they cast Elida yet. It was
Is it not official? Was it a leak?
It was a leak.
Oh, okay.
It was a leak.
Yeah, I was going to say, a lot of these leaks make themselves look real official. Like
and they've been wrong before.
Yes. Yeah, they have been. Because
Well,
where's
sweet.
Steve?
I still stand that they are one person now. But I do think that Myrelle and Alana are one person.
Okay.
And I feel like that's okay.
Oh no,
For
it's
all intents and
totally
purposes.
okay.
It's fine. It's fine.
I mean, even in the books, they were very similar.
Right. But so here's the thing. I know they're showing us that all the different Ajas are all different, but they also can't give us as many Aes Sedai's from all the same Ajas as they give us in the books.
Oh yeah,
right?
Because there are no
Because you're gonna
Greys.
forget.
Because there are no Greys.
Right.
Tom.
Sorry.
Yeah.
We had a
Or Aes
long
Sedai-
conversation about if they took out an Aja, which one would it be? And Tom said Grey.
Gray.
Well,
And her Aes Sedai is
That's not it.
no, that's not it. There it is. Her Aes
Um,
Sedai is Grey Aja. There's the show version.
Yeah.
Very
And
nice.
we have to give her a little bit of a flex. So when I first met you, you showed me those pictures. You were a guest at JordanCon, and the very first thing I asked you was, "What is your Aes Sedai's name?" Because she gave me, not only is Redfield like a huge cosplayer and like amazingly talented maker, but a huge Wheel of Time nerd, obviously. So I'm like, she gives me this whole backstory. It's a Malkiri Aes Sedai. She was an orphan. She was raised by the king of Malkir before, she's older than Lan. I'm like, what's her name? And she's like, I don't know. I don't have a name. I'm like, son of a bitch. So for like a year and a half, I told her I was going to name her Aes Sedai. And like true ADHD fashion, I forgot. And then also I meant what I actually wanted to do, and I didn't tell her this at first, was I was going to email Maria and Alan and have them help me name her Aes Sedai, because they are literally responsible for stuff like that, and they're the best at it. So I typed up like a 1-paragraph summary of her backstory, and I included the pictures. And the name that we landed on, which was a collaboration between mostly Alan and I, but Maria pitched in a little help too, was let me get because I don't remember how to spell it when we, because this was a while ago now that we got the name. It was Nienda Sedai or Ninda Sedai. I like thinking that because it's actually the two words for lost and won put together. So she was an orphan. That was Alan's kind of idea. And he actually, when he wrote me the email, because my first pitch for the name had an AAN in it, on, and he said, unless she's a man in drag, I wouldn't use that because that's a masculine verb or a masculine adjective. So you don't want to use that in the name, because then that would be mean masculine. So like, yeah, because it is a fully fleshed out language, and this is where
it is.
This is where all languages lost me. Like even in school, when they start to conjugate different male and female, I was like, never mind.
Spanish, and I'm like, why are y'all doing this to me?
I know words, but I can't have a conversation about it.
Right, like no. And some of them are simple, right? Like mijo, mija. I got that. I can figure that one out. But we're talking about chairs right now. What are you doing?
Yeah, why does a chair got to be masculine?
Why can't it just be a chair? This is a lot of pressure.
Why do we gotta put penises on chairs?
Speaking of Grendel, I want Grendel so bad.
I love you so much.
I just want to see who they've cast. I just want to see who they like. I just want to, and I want her to be voluptuous and vivacious, and I want them to.
What did Lanfear call her? A vain idiot?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, she's not wrong. Yeah. She's not an idiot, though. Grendel's not an idiot.
No, it's just she just said that because.
And honestly, she's not really vain. She's just like, I'm gonna work with what I got.
Yeah, and let's be honest, sex rules the world. Like it runs most of the world.
Why isn't
I'll tell y'all what. If I know I'm gonna speed, I got cleavage showing. I'm not.
There we go.
That is insurance. I am not.
Okay, so this the images that I have them in order of the episode, so like it starts at the beginning of the episode. I just love this shot of Tarvalon. I think it's fantastic. Yeah. I can't wait for them to do some scenes like in and around the city more with like bigger things like possibly a siege of some kind.
Mm.
All right, let's see. And then Haley Mills, guitar more so. So the idea of her not being in the Amerlin study and with all that, I was like,
Mhm.
nothing really came from that because they killed everybody. So like,
Yeah, it didn't affect me super much.
no,
It doesn't matter.
I'm just glad that we got more use out of some of the characters, like Karene. Like she had a bigger role other than just being, oh, she's a great channeler, she's super powerful. Oh, she was drowned and thrown off a boat, off camera. Like this is so much better. It was the version that we got was so much better.
Oh, baby Ran.
Little baby Ran.
Ran.
With the red hair, even.
Mm-hmm.
That is actually not how redheads are usually born. So
don't redheads usually come out blonde?
We have this little. So I have pictures of myself. I guess I can speak for all redheads, but I don't know. We have this little like blondie glow that happens.
Yeah.
We don't generally come out with like dark red hair. Like it's not really how that works.
So yeah, we could reference that real
quick. He
is
the Dragon Reborn though. And
so this is the Forsaken statues that Stepan had in his room. So if we're right in who we think they are, we have Balsamon in the middle left, middle right, Lanfear, Asmodean, unnamed male, and then the right is probably Grendel, because look at those hips and those boobs.
Yeah.
Then left of Balsamon, Samael, because short bearded scarred. And then two unnamed women. So my idea is that they're going to have compound Semiraj and Lanfear, and I think we're all in agreement with that. I don't think it's just my idea.
I think they'll give some of Semiraj to Moghedien.
So Semiraj was the healer, right? Yes.
Semiraj, yes.
She was the doctor, and Grendel was the psychiatrist.
Yeah.
So,
I think
they gave Lanfear Semiraj's World of Dreams title, like being the best in the World of Dreams. So
and the cruelty again, just being cruel for no reason.
Yeah, that was also Semiraj.
Though she would say it was for research. Samurai would say everything she did was for research.
But didn't they mention? No, they mentioned. Did they mention
they didn't mention
when they were mentioning?
Just Moghedien and Grendel and the boys.
The boys. Yeah. So there is a fourth woman. So who is the fourth woman? Is the question. Is the fourth woman Masana? Is it going to be Moghedien? Is it like who is it going to be?
Well, I don't think it's so Masana. So I do think if it is Masana, it might be Cho Chang, because in the books, Masana was the one that was hiding in the tower.
Yep.
And she was a brown, right? That she was masquerading as.
Either a brown or a white, I can't remember.
I think it was white.
Was it a white?
I think because it was like the least suspicious.
I don't remember.
But we do know that she was masquerading in the tower. But so because who else? If we don't get Masana, she mentioned we have Lanfear.
Roman Garden. Don't worry.
Yeah. So because who are the female Forsaken? Lanfear, Moghedien, Masana.
See,
I thought she was a brown. Yeah. So I don't. I mean, I can see them taking Masana out and maybe giving Masana to Moghedien.
I liked Masana's story though. Masana was.
I did. Yeah.
She was the Masana was the psychologist, I think. Right? No, she was the teacher.
No,
Masana
she was the teacher.
Yeah, and she had roving bands of children that would murder.
Yes, just out here, just wrecking up the joint. And I tell you, they were clean.
To be honest,
I'm telling you right now, those bands of children were ages 10 to 13. Because that is when they are most feral. They are most feral at those age.
I hate it.
They don't care about a thing. Just ridiculous.
I'd be interested to also see if we get Brigitte.
I hope we do.
Oh yeah, we are.
Just because, but the friendship that they're building between Min and Matt it feels like Matt and Brigitte friendship already. This is true, Nomen Garden, but middle school is the peak.
vicious. I teach high school, and you can't pay me enough to teach middle school.
Middle school is the amount of hormones and confusion those children are going through right now, and lack of deodorant. It is horrible.
Some never learn that deodorant thing.
Oh, I tell you one thing. I've been on Avi since 4th grade. I'm like, we're gonna start early, so it's a habit by the time it needs to be.
Oh yeah, it does have fish. I
It
didn't notice
does.
the fish until you pointed that
Fish,
out.
and I don't think they're herons. I think they're just a lot of different
The
birds.
birds, yeah.
Yeah, they do look.
'Cause
Yeah,
they're
they are
definitely, like,
very different. Like,
swallows.
look, this one has like. This is very different looking than it has it has a 2-pronged tail. Some of them only have 1 prong. So yeah, they're definitely different birds. Those
Very
all look like the
fancy,
same fish though.
They there's a whale in there, I think, at the bottom.
Oh yeah, right there in the bottom left. Yeah.
Yeah, that's where I noticed that those were fish and the other ones were birds.
Okay. It's a really nice coat though.
It's a nice idea.
Costuming has been
I really want the red coat. I hope we have to
We
get
had
the
it.
red
He
coat.
wore it. He wore it when he went to the party. And
Yeah, hold on.
Karyan,
No, I need more of the red coat.
Oh, I'm
yes,
sure
more of the red coat. But
I need
I
more
think
of
that
the-
was the red coat that we were going to get. That again was like an homage to the book readers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
That
that
was just
this
like-
is I think that this is very well. I mean, Kyrian happens to be very blue in costuming.
Yeah.
For some reason.
Maybe it's just to remind us that Moraine's from there. Maybe that's a subconscious thing, but like a subconscious thing, so we can remember her affiliation. Maybe.
Yeah, that was my other thing. Like, it's very blue. It kind of goes with, like, I am here and I am aligned with them.
Right.
But like, even her sister was, and the son was very blue. It's all very blue toned.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Military
would.
has blue, so like.
Yeah, I if it were me, nobody asked me, but if it were me, that is what I would do if we were ever to go back to any of the main Aes Sedai's like homelands. I would make sure that whatever Aja they were, that color was seen throughout, just to help people visually to know that this is home for them. Even if you do it on a subconscious level, so if they get there and then they're acting non-Aes Sedai, you kind of, you know why. Like, it was difficult for Moraine to be in Karyan, right? Because that's where her family was. That's where her history was. So.
The only other one that goes back is Katsuane, right?
Yes. Well,
technically
Varen. Well, technically, Varen does too, because aren't Varen and Katsuane from the same place?
Oh, and also in this one we see Alana at home.
Alana goes back home. Yes, but it was outside. It was very green. It was on the farm.
Yeah.
Because they're out eating. It's with with cousins and family and everything. So it wasn't a city, but there still was a lot of green in it, a lot of nature.
I'd be interested to go back and see if that continues with the ones that we know of.
Well,
I remember thinking that Varen was very brown.
Right. So maybe they are doing it on a subconscious level to kind of help drive home the point.
So with this theory having been said, does that mean that the yellow was actually from Falme?
Maybe. I mean,
the Kyrian flag is on a field of blue, so that does make sense for there to be blue.
Yeah. I would think if I were an Aes Sedai and I heard some stuff was there's his record, and I heard some stuff was going down in my hometown, I'd be the first one to volunteer and be like, let me go check this out.
Yeah. So the when I got to interview Davina and what was her name? Marigo. One of them was the costume designer. They had just done a live interview on Amazon, and everyone was going crazy about the red coat. But the person that was interviewing them on Amazon didn't bring up the red coat, so I got several messages about making sure to bring up the red coat. So I brought it up during the thing. I said everyone was very excited about it, and everyone loved it a lot. And they said that the red coat was very poignant because of its importance in the book, showing that Rand was kind of like accepting his change into being, from being a farm boy into something else, like not necessarily a lord yet, but something else.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. He didn't look as awkward in it, though.
No, he looked pretty good.
I don't know that he looks awkward in anything, but
This is
again,
all
that's a
no,
we see of
personal
the guy, by the
opinion.
way.
That's a personal opinion.
That's all we see of the guy, by the way, is this.
Right. And
Yeah.
it could. I like the theory that that's a gray man.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I like that too.
It could be a good. It's yeah.
No one noticed him
Because-
coming or going.
Right. And nobody seemed to notice Matt getting knocked out either.
See this.
But it was
This
the poor
probably
game.
will-
So
Ooh, I just had a thought.
yes.
Lanfear is wearing black.
Yes.
We only see her wearing black so far in the World of Dreams. I think.
That is true.
I could have just made that up.
I mean, she also wears
Mm,
blue when she's pretending.
yeah.
That's true.
I
This-
don't know that we could base a whole theory on that.
Yeah,
That's
I
true,
mean,
that's
I have to say this is much more in line with the past,
She's also
Like,
got long hair,
cut.
not short hair.
whereas her
Mhm.
in the dream world that we know dream world is much more
Ostentatious.
dommy
Yeah.
Yeah.
and not in like the demonic
Oh,
part.
All right. So
She's
I
so
threw that
cute.
in there because of the
The
seals
things in the background.
Yeah.
I'm gonna assume that Ishii is traveling with those.
But why? Like,
What?
are they actual
So
seals?
awkward.
Well, so let's look at it this way. So I think, Tom, what was our theory that he doesn't necessarily know because things have shifted, so he doesn't know where the other ones are.
Other ones
So-
yeah.
So maybe maybe it's a two-pronged thing where he has to take it to where the seal is. Like maybe he needs two of them. So I don't know.
But I mean, when he wakes up Lanfear, who is that bloody mess? Are we assuming that that's the bloody mess?
We're
Yeah,
60,
yeah.
yeah, no, it was Lanfear.
Yeah,
It's-
it was her. That was Lanfear.
Yeah.
He was waking up.
I just ended the poll on YouTube, by the way.
Mhm.
We're 60-40 Will Rand stab Matt. So that's pretty close. Like
It
still,
is. I mean,
yes,
yes.
60-40, yes, but still pretty close.
But I don't remember seeing them when he woke Lanfear. Now, also,
I
had to binge this, so I could totally be wrong.
I feel like that's what he channels into. Isn't it above his head and he channeled into it?
It's not that seal though. It's the
No, it's a seal.
it's the moon dial that shattered near Kyrian. That remember
Yeah.
how they said that we found this
Yes.
Quendiar moon dial.
Right.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's
Well,
that's
I'm
what they
gonna go
said.
with the theory that maybe I don't know, but
He-
it's but they showed up when they were in the other episode when Ishii and Lanfear were both in the dream world. You could see him there too.
Yeah. I mean,
So
Also, to add to your point, like, if I could wake up these people by myself, I wouldn't be carrying around these 3 giant pieces of stone.
Yeah, maybe he needs them in some way.
yeah, that's. I feel like he must need them, but if he doesn't know where the other ones are, he's like, I'm just gonna keep them with me,
Well,
as
the
I
last
am.
time- The last time we saw them was in the World of Dreams because we know that this scene is in the World of Dreams. So
This right? Well, was it in the World of Dreams?
No.
yes,
No, this wasn't because why would the
World
mom
of
bring the daughter into the World of Dreams?
That's what I'm saying.
It says locate like on the location thing.
Does it? I got to go back and watch it now.
Telerenriode, yeah.
How the kid get there?
How did any of the people get there?
Well,
I mean,
they can unless they're there in the flesh. Maybe he pulled them in the flesh.
I think they're there in the flesh.
I could see them, but the kid.
I don't know why I would bring my kid. Like
I
somebody's gonna have to watch her while I'm out doing my evil stuff.
I do
Honey,
be agreeing with you, Noman Garden. I do
It
be
is
agreeing.
bedtime.
Right, she should be asleep. She should be asleep, not out here with these Trollocs. But I do think that he must, and maybe. Oh, it said location unknown.
Yeah, but it says Tarvalon. It says Telerenriode, location unknown.
But maybe what we see in Teleronriad is just the reflection of them, right? Maybe they were that they weren't actually, because I mean we see the bid too. We have to assume that he was sleeping in a bid, so maybe it's just the reflection of them. Maybe he just
Maybe
I don't know because I don't know what their powers are in the book compared to the show.
Yeah.
And this poor sitter.
Yeah. So there we go. There's. It's very similar to Rena's.
But
But you-
different.
It's different shape. There's different shape in the middle.
Yeah,
So-
and this is wider, where hers
Yeah.
is more closer together. It's still
Mhm.
it's a very different shape, but yeah. So Just thought
And then
that
they
was
become blue. Like the other ones had the blue line.
paint. No, well,
Yeah.
it was a. I don't know if it's a tattoo or face paint.
I think it's
It-
face.
What's
So
up,
my
Andrew?
guess is face paint, like war paint.
Right.
This is I'm training, but this has to do with like location or status or something.
Well, so the thing about that is they're not going to be able to change it. Like they're not going to be able to change if Rena gets to the station that trainer got to. How are you going to adjust it? I think the scarification has more to do with maybe where they're from, maybe what region they're from, maybe
Yeah,
they were found, because
maybe.
that is an identifier that you cannot adjust.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we know that they are all about not. There's no upward mobility really.
I mean,
Yeah.
it takes a lot to do it, but I would think they would not scar you like that. Like once you've had that scar, it has to be something that can be added to it, maybe because like Turok's got the scarring, but
Mhm.
maybe that is layer upon layer. Where I know the Saldom are highly regarded, but they're just still not
They're
top tier
still
citizens.
owned. They're still they're
Yeah.
not citizens at all. They're still owned.
I mean, they're prized. They're still prized, and they're treated
prized,
better than the Damani, but still, they're still touching the source is the problem. Like to
Yeah,
some
a slave-
degree, they're
a
still
slave-
even though Tuan trains.
Yeah, listen. There's little difference between a field slave and a house slave, and that is basically
Yeah.
the difference there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're slaves that are treated more nicely and given a little
Yes.
bit more of a free reign. But like
Yeah.
And that is why they're a little bit uppity.
Yeah.
Because they got, at least I'm better than you. I might not be better than anybody else, but I'm better than you.
Yeah.
And that's and that is a great way to control people, to get them to
Mhm.
control themselves and to control the others.
Yep, you just got to give them somebody to control. So
Yeah. I love the different clothes on the Aes Sedai in these scenes. Like you really get to see the different cuts of like clothing from probably different
all the
countries.
different lands, yeah.
Maybe not just different tastes among the women, but different.
Right.
And even seeing different ages. So
That's
like
true,
I would
because
assume
they're very
that
old.
Eren, her style would be more older than
Yes.
whatever Cho
Yeah, there's
Chan's
the
name.
Carrion flag in the background. Good point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's on a field of blue.
So Redfield, I have this theory that when you see people with hairstyles from like decades ago, that is the last time they really felt good about themselves and really looked good, and they're not going to change it. And that's why you still see some people rocking an 80s hairstyle. I would imagine the Aes Sedai would do the same. Like they really like the cut of this dress and the fit of this dress, even though it's from 150 years ago.
So that's interesting because there was a book I was reading, and the only reason, so it was a ghost book, obviously.
Mhm.
And the only reason why they figured out who the person was, she's a gray, and I'm very upset that they didn't put her in gray, they put her in purple. Was that she could dress however her status would let her, but her hairstyle was as current as she could make it.
Well, because she was hiding. Was she hiding?
No, I think she was like a servant, but her clothes could be servant style, right?
Oh, but she could do her hair however she wanted.
Her hair,
I mean,
in the most current fashion.
yes.
Does this not?
But
does
this look,
seem like,
yeah.
like they're people watching and they're hating on somebody.
Yes.
Like that's
Oh,
Yeah,
God,
oh, no,
this is
absolutely.
me at every con I've ever been
Yeah.
to.
This is all very judgmental. This is very judgmental, and they are sending telepathic messages to each other. Look at him. He's like, I know he is not.
Yeah, that's exactly what that face.
And he's like, yes, he is. And Alana is like, you guys are being real obvious right now.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I stopped
Stop being
caring.
catty bitches.
Stop
Stop
being
being catty
You're being so obvious.
Yeah. Ooh. Holy shit, I just noticed something. Does anyone else notice something in this picture?
You're gonna have to help us out, Tom. I don't think that means he's a dark friend.
Finger?
That's the symbol that what's her name? Calbriana. It's the signal for dark friends, how they let each other know that they're dark friends. It's in the book.
Oh, I missed that part in the book.
But I sit like this all the time, and I'm not a dark friend. That might just be a habit.
I literally just noticed that right now.
Yeah, but that is because it's because it was the one that Semiraj. Yeah, but the Aes Sedai that Semiraj ends up killing or sends back, then somebody masquerades as her, and they do that so the other person knows. And I don't know if it's specifically Dark Friend. I think it is specifically Dark Friend and not just Black Aja.
It is
specifically Dark Friend.
Yeah.
Yep. But yeah,
I'm sending this. I'm gonna post this on Instagram to. So yeah. So after the show, guys, go over to the Dragonmount Instagram. I'll post a link to it and make sure to like get Taylor's attention. Like I'm gonna tag him, but see if you guys can up that so that he.
Yeah, that is definitely what that is. That is the Dark
interact with my post.
Yeah. All right, and I'll post a link to the Dragonmount thing before.
So then the question is, who is he trying to make eye contact with so they can see that he's doing that? Who?
Masana maybe as Yasuka.
Masana maybe. Karen? Yeah, because
Landrin's not there right now.
But because neither one of them are looking at him, and he's watching, he's kind of watching Ivan to make sure he's not looking.
But is he telling?
Look at his face too. Like he's haggard looking. Like this isn't the happy-go-lucky boyish Steppen. This is like,
I
mean not Steppen. Maxim.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm saying, is he telling the other two that there might be a dark friend over there?
So I don't think it was widely known among non-dark friends.
It was not.
It could be Tomas. If they're going to keep it with the book.
Yeah.
Oh, but yeah, I think it is very specific.
And Thomas just walked right by them after the scene, and then Ivan follows him.
That is true. No. But I mean, again, they could change it. Like maybe in the book
This is also the next sequence. Like the next scene is this scene.
Hold on one second, because why does it look like she's got googly eyes in her hair? Who did that?
I know for 2 seconds I was like, why do they have googly eyes in her hair?
I know that's not what that is, but those are googly eyes in her hair.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I mean, they just passed.
It looks like she's got a Muppet on her head.
Oh, look, she's wearing gray.
Yeah, no, she's in gray, but I don't know why they put her in lavender. I mean, gray isn't a great color for most people, but like, I suffer.
And here's where I found out I was wrong.
It was a good theory, Tom. It was such a good theory.
That is just an interesting cut.
Hold on, let me go back. I'm going too quickly now. I brightened up these images as much as I could, by the way. It's
actually funny because that collar is very Lanfear.
This?
Yeah, she was wearing that strappy thing in Talleyrand Riyadh. Had a very similar like cut to it.
Okay. That's fantastic. You get a gold star for that. Extra points. You get 10,000 points, DK Moon. That's good. This is her getting mad at him right here, by the way.
Yeah, there's a lot of tension though. Like you can see the tension.
And this is where he's pretty sure he's right about her.
Yeah, he's like, I figured it out. Like I just got to check one more thing. Let me check one more thing.
Oh yeah, there we go. There's where she's like,
like, are you serious right now?
You let me shoot you like that?
You learned nothing. 6 months and nothing.
Yeah.
So I don't know what she thought Moraine was going to teach him.
She can't see exactly. Like she can't see it. Who's the fuck's gonna train him?
That was this was hard to catch. By the way, I had to put.
Oh, I'm sure.
I had to because it was real quick. I had to put it into. I had to screen capture the video, which don't tell Amazon I did that. Then I had then I had to put it in Adobe and go frame by frame to catch this shot.
You are dedicated.
Yeah.
Just that look, like so. I've seen that look on my Avienda's face. she and I have been having a lot of discussion about how you got to control your facial features because
Mhm.
you'll be at high school before you know it, and I don't want to have to come up there and have to control my facial features.
Mhm.
I I poke Erin sometimes when we're doing stuff. Like if we're somewhere where Erin doesn't want to be, I sometimes like I poke her and I'm like, I can tell. Like we know.
So Aaron's nice because I make sure everybody knows I don't want to be there with the hope that they will send me home.
Oh no. Erin does not want to like she's bad at hiding it. So like I have to remind her every now and then be like,
But that's the thing. I don't try to hide it anymore. At
oh
this
yeah.
age, I'm like, send me home, please.
It's only when we're somewhere where she doesn't want people to be like, you know.
Yeah, I know. But
So
I mean,
mad.
she is so mad. I'm telling you, that is, I know that look. I've given it and I've received it.
This is her
From
being a little surprised, probably about how strong she is.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. That fucking pacifier thing is so creepy. So this is the other Aes Sedai, like the first one that did it, and then boop.
Yep.
Yeah. No.
Very different.
I mean, they could feel it in the city, and we don't know how far the city is from here, but obviously not close.
It's impressive. Yeah.
She blew all of the sand away. That's rock. That's the rock under the sand. That's pretty cool. There's that kitty. All right, so let's make sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Dang it. He needs a little thumb.
I know, just a little one. I was a little concerned about how much eye boogers he had, but you know, if he's a street cat, it makes sense. I clean the boogers out of
he's
my
either a street cat. Oh, he's also living in a very dusty place.
Yeah.
It is the obligatory kitty. I will take obligatory kitties every 3 minutes in the show. I don't care. And then our man, Loyal.
I like how they keep incorporating this pattern, material manipulation with the switching of the colors.
Elaborate.
Oh yeah. On the belt.
Well, I mean, they did it in the belt. They do it on
I got you.
Shamael. A lot of places.
Okay.
Yeah.
And here's where she's like, "Oh yeah, my horse is the best horse. Oh yeah,
yeah. Your horse is gonna toss you, ma'am. Your horse is gonna toss you.
She's gonna.
You gotta be careful.
Half.
You're not trained for this horse.
But so here's the thing, though. They messed up because they're just kind of letting Egwene run wild and feel all the power. At least in the tower, they were kind of. It's like with in X-Men with Phoenix, with Dark Phoenix, how they put in the tower, they were kind of putting those parameters on her so she wouldn't realize. Here, they just turning her loose and they're going to regret it just like Professor X and Magneto did.
Yep.
We have 4 little circle things.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So if there's 4 here and there's only 2 out, so there should be 6. So is there a reason there's only 4? Oh, man.
Maybe these were... I don't know. Maybe these were found in this area. Maybe he's collecting them. Maybe he still is. Well, no, because we saw all 8 at one point, right?
But that was in the World of Dreams again. So
that was in the World of Dreams. So maybe he is collecting them. Maybe.
What up?
Maybe these are here because he had been here and he had found them. Maybe Turok gave him some. I don't know.
No. I do like these chairs are beautiful. I want some.
I love those chairs.
Yeah, they are nice.
The very angle.
Ayahuasca. Oh, and his rubber band for his ring.
Yeah.
I love that. Look at his face.
He is killing this role. Yeah.
I love the chair. Sorry, I'm just gonna look at this chair for a minute. Nice chair.
Very fancy.
This looks like the Triforce from Zelda.
It's very Moroccan, I believe.
Yes. That is the vibe I get from the whole city, though. Like, it is very,
This is
like,
where
can you come on with it?
Is it a sex thing or a murder thing? That's right when you said that.
Yeah.
Either way, I want that tea kettle so much.
That is a nice tea kettle.
Hold on, let's go. Oh yeah, that is really nice.
It's beautiful, and it's got like the little heater thing underneath it.
Yeah, this looks like an elephant trunk almost.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty cool. And then look, it's the goodest boy ever. The goodest boy.
I'm kind of sad that he exists because I know what's going to happen, and animal deaths hurt me the most.
We don't talk about that here. There she is.
Oh yeah, there she is.
We don't.
That's where she is. There's 68 other Aiel in this image.
Absolutely.
One of them is
Absolutely.
Right here.
Yep.
One looks like a bush.
And again,
Yeah. You're pissed about
We know,
it.
Tom.
Yeah.
We know.
Yeah.
Did they leave her? They didn't leave her spears, right? They picked up her spears and her shield.
Yeah,
Or did they
probably.
leave them there?
I would assume.
No,
they
because
took
one of
the-
them has. I think one of them has 3 in the end scene.
We'll see in a second, I think. So this is when they're beating her up. And that is when she got beat up.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, this is Ayula. I think Ayula isn't wearing a wig, by the way. I think she's one of the few that isn't wearing a wig.
Yeah, I think that is her hair.
That is her natural hair.
Well,
And I only say that because I've seen her in other things with that hair, and it seemed too similar for it to be a wig. I mean, I take it back. I take wigs to JordanCon. She could be carrying the same wig around, but I think that's her natural hair.
That's fair. I'm 90% sure it is her natural hair.
If anything, I feel like it's her natural hair color.
Yeah.
yeah, I believe it is the natural hair color. It might
Right.
be the natural, but dreads take so long
Here, hold on.
To grow, yeah,
to mature.
but you could always add to it. I mean, I've had dreads on occasion. I mean, you can do it. But yeah,
I got an image from her. This is just on her IMDb. This is her IMDb. This was her IMDb image before the show too.
This one particularly.
no.
Oh,
He's getting it. He's getting it.
there it is.
Yeah,
This
that's
is-
why.
yeah.
And that's why I think it's her hair, because I've seen her too many places
Yeah.
With that.
with that
It's
hair.
nice that they left her natural hair too. It's not something
Yeah.
they usually do.
Yeah, but when your hair is thick and poofy, sometimes it's easier just to go with that than try to get it under a wig.
Yeah.
Let's not sit on that one. So here we go. So here's and again I brightened it up as much as I could. This
Mhm.
definitely looks like a
Is it
non-white
Fane?
person. I thought it was Fane. I thought it was because this looks like a black man. Like that's what this
Yeah,
looks like.
but it looks like his hair. I mean, from what I can see, it looks like his hair.
Yeah. But then then they changed it to Matt, so then we don't really know. And this
I mean, that would. Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say this looks like a military uniform.
Mhm.
Yeah, neither of them are matte in that frame.
Well, this one is.
I mean,
That
not
was
in that, in
yeah.
the-
Oh yeah, that's
in
supposed
that
to be Matt.
mirror
Yeah,
scene.
yeah. And then
Yeah.
then it's Matt. There we go. I don't know why I liked this part so much, but I really liked this. I just really liked it so much.
I mean, I think it's a very good way to show this interesting mental state.
Yeah, hold on.
Yeah,
I
the
wanna watch
effects
it
of
again.
the.
I want to watch it again.
Oh, got it.
Just like him.
Sorry. I really like it. I think it's a great scene. All right.
So Roof Mistress, it was showing him, and that if you've read the books, Roof Mistress, there's a scene where they go through the portal stone, and Matt sees all his different lives, and in some of them he betrays Rand because when they finally get to Farm, he's like, Rand, I would never do that. I would never betray you. I would never do that. This is
What?
This is just the quick of him seeing him in his different lives doing the things. Go ahead, Red, before you hurt yourself.
Okay. What if, I don't know if they've ever said this, but what if, because he's betrayed Rand in other lives, Min is seeing him betray Rand in other lives and not necessarily this life?
It could be. I think it's just an alternative. I think Min very much says that she's not always 100% on her visions, but when she knows, she knows. Because she says sometimes she can look at a man and a woman and go, know that they will marry even if they're not married. But sometimes the vision's a little blurry, or you know what I mean? Like it's fuzzy and it's a possibility, but it's not for sure. Because I want to say when she's seeing him in the tower, some of the things that she's seeing around the Aes Sedai, some of them she's sure about, and some of them not so much, or she doesn't quite understand. But yes, when they go through that portal stone, because that's the thing Matt's so upset about, is that he's seeing himself betray Rand.
Yeah.
So that's what that was, Roof Mistress. That was just giving us a quick flicker, or not flicker, but portal stone.
No.
Yeah. Just some of the exposition that we got from that in a different way.
Yeah.
I mean, it was pretty trippy. There's your favorite dress.
I just want her. I want her to start colluding with Swan. I want her.
Oh,
I
yeah,
want them.
really interesting ear piercing stuff that they have
They
going
all
on.
have really interesting ear piercing ideas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like Turok's the best, I think, with the weird. It looks like a giant hearing aid.
Well, they all, like a lot of the Shan Chan, at least the High Blood, seem to have that in their ear.
Oh my god, could you, I mean, I know that swords are really sharp, but when they cut her fingernails by just like boom, I'm like, that sword has to be incredibly sharp.
Yes.
But also the fingernails, when they get that long, are very brittle.
I mean, yeah, but they I don't know.
Yeah.
I've had long nails and they're not that.
Yeah, but I'm sure you did you like wrap them and like do like modern?
No, are you kidding me?
I don't know. My mom used to. I remember my mom always sitting and she used to be a nail tech, so she used to always do her own stuff. I recall her sitting there and putting the wraps and everything on them. I was incorrect. This is when we found out that she wasn't.
Well, when he tells his mom to leave, just the way all of it.
This scene.
Yes, listening. But the way his voice even got deeper when he's like when he tells his mom to leave, and I was like, oh,
yeah,
it's him.
He was faking.
Yes. Yes, Noman Garden. Layers upon layers. It's like an onion.
It is. He's so like.
There we go. Here we go. There she is.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. The color is similar, reminiscent to Leandrin's, except like the extra, like the Leandrin's asymmetry was on the other side.
Yeah, and it has, well, yeah, it is on the other side, but
yeah, it's not different. I'm just, I was just pointing that out. Not that means anything.
Yeah, it's just so, I hate it.
I like it. I mean, obviously, I like this costume.
It doesn't, and I mean, we're in the world of dreams, so it doesn't have to feel like anything, but it doesn't feel like past, and it doesn't feel like modern.
So look at it this way. Look at it this way, Redfield. When she turned to the dark, she, for at least this one, just was like, I'm throwing everything away. She pulled a Grendel. It's like, I'm going to do the exact opposite of the stuff I used to wear. So this was the most opposite.
I mean, all the ladies did.
Right. So, but this is but in the books, like she wore her silver and white.
She's got a snake.
Is that a snake?
Yeah.
Nice.
The weird ear piercing thing. I mean, not weird, but different.
Right. But I think they're also trying to make sure that when we look at her, you're reading danger, like crazy. This is a crazy lady. You don't want to look at you the way she's looking at Rand.
Yeah, look at that.
Right? Like yeah.
That is, don't get you someone that looks at you like that, or like this,
or like that. I am known for that look. As I said, this is like
or that one.
Somebody messaged me and was like, Redfield, are you watching? And I was behind at that point. And I was like, I'm not. And they're like, one of Lanfear's outfits is everything that you want in life. And I was like, we'll see, because Lanfear's not my favorite. So I'd have to really like the outfit. And like, this would be like, I would make an exception.
Yeah.
For this.
By the way, this is going to be a future D&D character of mine. This, like, I saved this image. This is definitely going to be an image that I use for a future D&D character. It's a wild magic sorcerer right there, if I've ever seen it.
I mean, it could almost be a Christmas card.
Yeah.
It almost looks like there's snow behind it.
Oh God,
like,
that's ash and fire.
Yeah, it's snow. It's snow.
It's snow. Oh, so awesome. I think I love the explosions and the fighting.
Mhm.
And the use of the one power in season 2 has been fantastic. Oh,
right,
here's a
and
good look
so-
at her,
Oh yeah, just the
the details in
and
there.
it's-
And it's also super interesting that her fire is, or her weave is, well, I mean, she's, never mind.
Okay.
hers are more controlled, like the Damane, as opposed to Moraine's, which are very wide and flowy.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And this
Which
is
I
her
think-
right after killing all those people.
Right, that look, that like,
Yeah.
oh, that felt good. But I think that goes to show that she is that much more, and that she's that much more in control of what she's doing. She's been trained better, more
So-
expertise.
And even more powerful, because those are so much bigger, like chunky.
Oh yeah, multiple
Yeah.
weaves too, multiple at once. So I think we were wrong, Noman Garden, earlier, that I definitely think he could see behind him with the way this is angled. Like this isn't like he's not looking down; he's looking like he could definitely see some behind him, especially because also the blade is diamond, like it has an edge that angles up a little bit, an edge that angles down a little bit. So
Yeah.
I think he would be able to see behind him with this.
And
But
especially with
again-
that hand thing, I think he's trickier than he's being tricky.
Tricks him.
He's not as like, whoo, 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 look how pretty
Mhm.
I am.
Yeah.
That
Right.
initially
But
give him credit for.
He's again bags under his eyes, looking a little disheveled. Like with that dark friend symbol from earlier, I'm a little,
Well, you're just looking at him in a different light now.
yeah.
And I just
Even
think
looking at
it's
him
pretty
a
good
little
looks
cross-eyed.
too. It's good side eye. Good side eye.
Yeah.
Again, good side eye. Good
Yeah.
side eye.
So this is also I think the reason. Yeah. Okay. The reason I took this one was like Logain, when he doesn't think he has a chance to be useful anymore again, and then Logain thinks he could be useful again. Like he just, like, even the bags under his eyes disappear a little bit from this part to this part. Like he just
And
that's
See, 3 spears.
but I was gonna say the Logain in the book was pretty much the same, right? I mean, that was the reason I think it was so easy for him to
when they gave
believe
him
that
when
he
they
was.
gave him a reason.
He needed purpose. Yes, he needed purpose.
I just think they're depicting that well. Yeah, his
Yes, they
performance
are.
is fantastic. I think the lighting, the makeup, and Alvaro Mortes are just, I
Yes.
think they're doing fantastic in their portrayal of Logan.
Yes.
He gives
What
a
he
really
felt.
good performance.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And then there we are. Yeah, she
See?
has 3 spears.
3
Yeah.
spears.
Absolutely correct.
Look at all that water.
Yeah. I mean, she's like, the confusion on her face is
Yes.
evident. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then our girls
Hmm.
planning to.
Love
But
it.
look at the look on her face. She's like, "What
She's
just
like,
happened?
what? This shouldn't work. Why is this working?
What is happening right now?"
Yeah. She's got some killer hair too. Like that's
They
nice.
all have that style.
Yeah, that is the Sodom hairstyle, but also they all have full heads of hair.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah. The no shaving of the heads.
No
there. And that's
shaving.
because they're not
Of the blood.
anything. Well, they're not anything.
Right,
They're-
right.
They're slaves still. That's why all of the slaves have full heads of hair. Except for the churchman. And that's where she says she'll kill her.
And she's just so calm. So
Yeah.
calm. That is the most terrifying thing, is things delivered calmly like that. That's why I tend to not yell at people. Just very
and then right back to
calmly.
braiding her hair.
Braid that
Yeah.
braid.
And then here's our idiot.
His hair is so cool.
It's very
I said, I have not worn finger waves since 1986.
I
Look,
love
he
He
finger
is
waves.
rocking them. He
I
is
love
rocking
it.
them.
The
It's
double-sidedness
partially-
of it is also very interesting. Not gonna lie, the waves on one side and the straight back on the other side.
Yeah.
Usually-
Yeah, that's how you wear them. That's how you wear them. It's very, I feel it's very
Well-
20s vibe. A very 20s.
Yeah, I would do waves on waves.
Yeah.
It also makes me like the back of his hair, like the bottom, like where it's like at the nape of his neck where it's joined together, made me think of like Revolutionary War era general, like
Yeah, he's got a cape going on.
I couldn't think of what that was called.
Tom Nomengarden said the Soldam are not slaves.
They are. I mean, they aren't, but they are. Like they're not allowed to just do whatever they want. Like they have.
Well, that's true. So when they go around to find all the girls who would start to naturally channel, like no matter what, they also have every girl has to put on the collar and the bracelet to see what happens. The
Oh, okay.
Saldom when they
I was going to say thank you for pointing that out. Yeah. So in the review that I did, I had asked anyone watching if they knew anything about ASL or ESL, if any of their symbols meant anything or if it was just gibberish. And so that's interesting. I'm glad they at least consulted with somebody and made special sign language for them to use, but at least it's based on something, you know. But so are Daemane. Daemane are there too. They're slaves in the sense of they are bound. Like if a Sul'dam was suddenly like, I don't want to be Sul'dam anymore, they'd probably just get executed. Like,
well, let's see. Hold on, let me see. Well, I know it is they're supposed to serve the Empire in that way, but I think they are able to do other things. Because Asura's voice, at least in the book, is a Sul'dam. But she's also a voice.
Yeah, but I think at that point that's Surath picking her. Like Surath, someone of the blood raised her to being a Sojin. So like that's not the like she didn't choose that. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like there isn't an application process to be a Sojin. It's Surath was like you're my Sojin.
Let me see. I'm trying to see if it says specifically
hiring us.
You don't have, but see, that's the thing though. You don't hire the Sul'dam. You pay the crown to use the Sul'dam. You don't pay the Sul'dam. That is the difference. That is why I'm sticking with Sul'dam were also slaves. They are owned.
They're considered to be exotic animal holders of the highest rank.
Yes, so they're the house. They're literally the house slaves. And the Daemane are the field slaves. They're the highest rank of slave, but they're still a slave. And they're owned. All Sul'dam and Daemane are property of the Crystal Throne. All, period. That is said in the books. So, like, they're slaves. They're just Sul'dam are given a little bit. Well, go ahead.
No, I'm reading on the wiki. As to why Alwyn was raised to the position of Sojin.
This is Leafear, by the way, not Lanfear.
Alwyn was raised because Cirth raised her to Sojin to keep her quiet because she learned that Sul'dam could channel. So that's why she was raised.
But also, she was raised, not
right. She was, but that's the old. I don't think I knew that about Alwyn. I don't think I knew that. Sura knew.
I have a cat bed behind my computer monitor, so he's thinking about going there right now.
Because it's warm back there, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's super warm back there.
He's there. He goes. I think he's going back there now. All right.
Okay. All right. Go ahead. Sorry, I got.
So
I was reading stuff.
I paused this here because I got this image because I like the different depictions of the two of them doing their weaves. So Leanne's doing it with one hand and she's just kind of reaching out, and Varen is doing given they are doing slightly different things, like she's taking the shield away and she's putting a shield on, but I still like the differences there on how they're doing that. Oh, are you fucking awesome?
Well, I think that there was an interview that I was listening to, I don't remember which one, where the Aes Sedai, the actresses, could kind of dictate the style of motion that they used to channel.
Mm-hmm. And they also had finger tutting, like similarly to how they had hand motion specialists on the set for the show The Magician. Mm-hmm. They had similar people on this to help coach them into making their motions. But yes, each Aes Sedai, each person that channels was given a little bit of free reign to develop their own language of sorts. My deeper question for Rafe the next time I get to talk to either him or somebody is going to be like specifically citing the magicians. In the magicians, when they do a fire spell, they use the same hand motion no matter what that fire spell is, there's a similar hand motion in all of the fire spells. So like, are we going to see that when they do weaves that contain weaves of fire, weaves of earth, weaves of air, as they put those weaves together, are they going to have similar motions? Like, is it a language in and of itself? Like, because it was in the books to some extent of where, like, you know, they would manipulate the hand motions, and it was like the hand motions to the Aes Sedai was somewhat just as important as any other part of the weave. So I just hope they stick with that, because that was a fun detail that I really liked in the Magicians and in the Wheel of Time book. So I just kind of hope that they do that. And then there's Varen letting it go. And then there's our group. This looks very much like a D&D group setting off. How many people is that? That's 7 people in that group. That's a lot. That's a big group. That's a big table. And there's Notmin right there.
We just knew it, Tom. We just knew it.
Just sad about
Girl,
that.
why they got to make you a gray but give you a purple jacket?
I mean, purple's my favorite color. So
purple's a very nice color, but we don't get a lot of representation.
Yeah, that's true. There's not a lot of Grey Sisters. There was like one or two in the scene where, like, the big courtyard scene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Not
but I think this is their Shinar. In the beginning of book 2, where Swan is in Shinar and she has the coterie of like 2 sisters from every Aja. I think this is that.
Yeah.
Yes,
definitely.
because that is where she doesn't talk. She does talk to Rand, and then she sees him.
Yeah. 14 sisters, 2 from every Aja. Yeah. And that's the first look at the shield. Rand.
That is so much power too.
Yeah.
So
yes.
Much.
And so much taint.
Yes.
I really like the depiction of channeling in this. So let's see. We have fire for sure, and spirit, maybe white, bright white, or air. I can't tell. It could be yellow in there. There's definitely yellow and red.
Yeah.
But that's a bright white.
It is.
Yeah.
I just love it. A lot of fire in that weave, Rand.
A lot of fire.
A lot of fire.
And they did mention that he can't untie the weave.
No, he has to cut it.
Break the weave.
He had to cut it.
Yeah, that is a knife if I ever saw one. And there it is, right there. That's when she can tell she could channel again.
Yeah.
Rosamund Pike is just killing it with the acting in this.
So good.
They all are, and I'm just like,
this is another really good image. I like.
That's a nice one.
Yeah. But it does make me wonder, like all the like she does the big flourishes when Lanfear doesn't. Like who trained Moraine to do the big flourishes like that?
Yeah, whatever,
like was that something that was lost through the ages of being able to control it better, or is it just a power thing?
Isn't there something? I could be thinking of another thing, another like magical thing that. The better you get, the less hand like you can also use words.
It's
I'm thinking of something else.
That's Harry Potter.
No.
It is. It's you don't have to. The better you get, you don't have to use the incantation, the words for the spell. You could silent cast in Harry Potter if the better you were at it.
No, I thought there was something about
in the Wheel of Time. It's all about how you learn.
Right. That's why I said who taught you. Because they do mention that a lot of the Aes Sedai can tell who taught one of the other Aes Sedai based on their hand movements.
And the Aiel don't do hand motions at all.
Yeah.
So like, you know, it's all just how you learn to channel. And they've been doing that very well here. But damn, sorry.
I'm here for a good coat. Cape, cloak.
Look at this fucking face. Fucking insane.
Yes, but because that's when Rand is like, you're not going to touch her. And I know Lanfear's thinking, oh, I'm going to touch her.
Oh, that's a you bet motion.
Yeah. And this is right when they go through the Waygate together, or when Rand says, you know, like I'll help you. And then that's how the episode ends.
It's just okay. So it's not this one, but like a few seconds after, and it could have just been like my screen because we already talked about how I don't have a fancy TV. She had this like itty bitty like smile
Well, we can go and check.
as if she
Who? Swan?
yeah, Swan had just this very small, almost smile of like, yeah, I kind of knew that was gonna be how this happened. Like,
Do you think she did it on purpose? Do you think this Swan did this to push Moraine away so she would do it? Because
I initially thought that this was their, you know how they do the thing.
I thought it was too. Yeah. I thought it was too.
But when they did, this was when I was like, nah, never mind. That shit.
Well, it could. So they are both very dedicated. Could it be that Swan was like, I can't just let her go. I have to, like she didn't even tell Moraine. Like it wasn't her and Moraine planning it together. It was Swan realizing that she had to put on this show for them, and then when she saw them leaving, she's like, "Good, it was worth it."
Yeah,
the dragon.
Like that.
Yeah, that's good. What I needed to happen happened. Yeah. It's worth whatever the sacrifice was.
Yeah, like I know that he has to leave. I have to put up a show, and you know, even if I argue with her, she's still gonna go.
So I have
right,
and she's maybe not even putting me ahead of that.
Right.
That to her is always going to be more important.
Right.
Even though I am here, could be dying.
Right. Well, I think I am pretty sure Swan probably let go of that relationship before Moraine did, because I think Swan was more of a realist, and the minute she heard that prophecy, she knew what they wanted could never be. I think Moraine may have still held out a little bit just because of their difference of upbringing. That maybe Swan had been planning this, like I'm gonna have as much time with her as I can, but once this really happens, then I'm gonna have to find a way to make her not want to come back to me.
Yeah.
And to do what needs to be done.
I just need the love story.
We'll get it again.
So I think that's also like why Loyal's story arc at the moment is just bothering me so much. Like,
he hasn't met his lady friend.
They both smile, by the way.
They do.
They both do.
Okay, so then maybe they did. Well, but
hold on. Let me.
Well, maybe it's Moraine realizing. Maybe it's Moraine realizing at the last minute. Maybe she sees Swan smile, and then she's kind of like, "Oh, okay."
Let me see if I can get it. There it is. It's very small, and she only does it for like a half a second.
Yeah, no, it's very tiny.
Yeah.
Well, no, this is even Maureen's. I'm not even at Swan's.
Oh, Maureen.
Yeah, hold on.
I forgot what we were talking about.
Yeah, sorry. I'm
here for the love, guys.
I mean, I was here for the ears.
I'm not getting any of that.
We'll get it, but I will say, and when this episode started, Brian was like, "Oh, no, Tom and Moraine." Like that relationship, and then at the end, I was like, "Oh well, it looks like they broke it off, so she's free to go with Tom if she wants."
I
know everybody hates it. Everybody hates it.
I hate it so much. I know that everyone's like, "Oh no, I saw it coming from a mile away." No, you fucking didn't.
No, you didn't. You went
like a linebacker. You
did not
see it.
You didn't see it coming from a mile away. You saw it when he showed it to us, and then you look back and it was like, "Oh, maybe that was a little bit of foreshadowing." That's what you did.
So her
is it
a little
like not a smile, Tom.
Don't look at her eyes.
No, that is not a smile.
I wish I could
that is a terrifying woman.
Yeah.
Who is like, I am walking away from a woman that I love, who might possibly be dying in
or still. Yeah.
Let me see if I can get it. Hold on.
Yeah, no, that is terror right there.
That's not it.
That's not it either.
That's the last, but you could look at the corner of her mouth.
I thought it was a little bit more than that.
No.
That's it. That's all that happens.
Unless it's the motion, maybe it's
I was gonna say maybe it is the motion.
We need the motion, yeah. I can't get a clip of it right now because I can't share the screen with Oh
yeah. But we'll just all have to go back and watch.
Yeah,
but I will.
Let us know what you think. Post it on Twitter. Add us on Twitter or do it on Instagram because that's where
Red is.
Yeah. Let me post for Instagram again.
I will say this whole episode Swan seemed almost harsher than she needed to be.
Like she was really
Um,
going over the top.
right. That's how I felt. But she could also have been mad that that Moraine hadn't told her what happened, that it had to come from land. But if Moraine at this point is thinking, though, or Swan should have been able to feel Moraine at that point. Right? She knew Moraine was not still, right? Because then she's like, "You lied," when she comes in. So she's upset because she thinks she lied about being still because she saw her open the way gate, and Swan's like, "You're not still. You lied about that." But one of two things: if she thinks Moraine lied, well, no, because Moraine never actually said it, did she? Moraine never actually said it.
We
So
had a long that whole first scene was her being like, "You've been
yes,
not able to channel for 8 months and you didn't tell me."
yes, but Moraine never, because
She
does
never
Rand
said
come
it.
in? I think Rand comes in. No, she comes in because Rand was
But
shielded.
she thought she was stilled, so she could have said it.
That's true. She could have said it. It still just feels like something that Swan had planned that maybe she didn't share with anybody because she is thinking ahead to the things that have to happen.
Yeah,
And like I said, I feel like Swan would be the one to let go of that relationship before Moraine.
fair enough. So, it's 11:30, and I love
Yeah, I
all
gotta
you.
go to bed. I gotta go to work tomorrow.
I love all you people, but it is late. Red, what's the next con you're going to? Where can we find you next?
So I'm pretty done.
I mean, you just did Dragon Con, the Masters of Cosplay all over the damn country. Like,
Yeah,
You need a break.
we did
oh,
3
speaking
cons.
of,
We
hold
did
on.
3 cons in a month.
Yeah, let's get your Dragon Con. You did page to stage there.
I did.
So
I don't think
cute.
I didn't post anything of it though.
Oh, okay.
That's just my strawberry shortcake.
Yeah, the strawberry shortcake. You did that at Dragon Con, though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not this shoot, but yeah, I did that one. I did a few. I did Agatha Hetterdine. So we were part of I was part of Page to Stage, which is all about books. It's a book themed competition. I was invited, so I had to choose one of like 40 books. There were it could have been 20, like 15 people invited, and then there was an open division, and it was fun. So I did Agatha Hetterdine from Girl Genius,
Awesome.
Nice.
and I got best interpretation.
Yay!
Hey,
Because you're fantastic, and
you are. You are.
and you got the what is it? Are you a master of cosplay now? Is that
I
your
am
title?
technically, yes. So the official title is I am the winner of Master of Cosplay Grand Prix.
Ooh.
So Master of Cosplay is the name of just the regional ones. So this was Boston Fan Expo, Masters of Cosplay, and then the international is the Grand Prix of Cosplay.
Oh, okay, awesome. That's freaking. That's
Amazing. It's
there's
amazing.
there's so much. Let's just look at like so. Hold on. Let's start from the top here. We have strawberry shortcake.
Yes.
Mhm.
Then we have a gray Aja Aes Sedai.
Show
we have-
version.
A Warhammer 40K version of Benjamin Franklin in a Space Marine suit, essentially. And then a book version of an Aes Sedai, a Mandalorian, like
Yeah.
it's just all over
It's
the
the
place. and I love
range.
it.
It's the
Yeah,
range for
totally.
me.
There
Yeah.
are people who like to do particular things. That's
Isn't it
Merida
Mary? I
from
was about to
Brave.
say. I was about to say.
Nobody gets it, but I think it's hilarious.
I love Merida. It's one of my favorite Disney movies.
I do a lot of Meridas. I do many Meridas. There are certain people who like to do like certain fandoms, but I recently discovered that I'm just a fan of costumes, and good design. So you're never gonna see like I might go back into Star Wars a few times or like bigger genres, but like you're never just gonna see me like do just Warhammer cosplays, or you're never gonna see me just do Spider-Man cosplays. I might have 7 Meridas, but they're all like different ideas of Merida.
All right. Now I just have to show you off because I love all your stuff. We're just gonna go to your Instagram page.
You don't have to, it's late.
That's fair.
Tom
All
does
right.
this to me every Monday, but it's only when we're talking about Wheel of Time. This is the one. These are the ones where I'm just like, we could talk all night, and then I'm like, Lord, I gotta go to work.
You are often at Boston Fan Expo too, though. So if
I am. I
anyone's in
have been the
Boston
past
area-
few times because I do a panel, which I didn't do this time.
with
of,
Sargon. It's another friend of the show. He often runs a Wheel of Time panel at the. He didn't do the Wheel of Time panel this year. He did a Lord of the Rings panel.
Of course he did. Let me see. I know that somewhere. I'm gonna take like 2 seconds, see if I can find it. And if I can't, that's fine. I have a juxtaposition somewhere of my Wheel of Time book versus the Wheel of Time. I don't see it off the.
Just on a cursory quick search.
Oh wait, there it is. I just sent it to you. I mean, it's the back, but like whatever, you get the picture.
Yeah. Literally, I got the picture. Yeah. It'll be up in a second. Streamyard likes to load things slowly sometimes.
And I think that it's also a good representation of like a lot of people, saw the book version and was like, yeah, that, I got a lot of people who are like, absolutely, I totally understand how that's a book version of An Aes Sedai. Like, that's amazing. And then I had people who were like, has this person ever read these freaking books? Like,
Yeah.
they don't look like that. What? It's supposed to be this. It's supposed to be that. It's a really good representation and juxtaposition of like books mean different things. Words mean different things to different people.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I keep harping on this, and I will harp on it till the day I die. Like, just because you think it looks like something doesn't mean that everyone thinks it should look like that.
Exactly.
And then, as I was saying earlier, like, I read the books. I've read them a few times, but once I heard that it was coming out as a TV show, I stopped because there's no possible. Listen. If you take away anything from, I'm going to go off. If you take anything away from this podcast or this like interaction, there was no possible way that this TV show was going to be anything like what 95% of you thought the books should look like as a TV show.
Oh yeah.
It wasn't going to happen. There's not enough budget. It all looks different to different people. Like, it's a world. Do you know how much it costs for a world to exist?
So I have been saying from the beginning, Robert Jordan himself could come back and do it, and I'd be like, that's not what you meant. Because that's not what I had in my head. Like, he could be the one to do it. I'd be like, that's not right. So if there's no way. There is no way.
I like this depiction that we're getting. I'm happy with season 1. The only issues that I had with it were what I hoped to have been all production related issues associated with COVID, and from what we've gotten with season 2, it seems like that was correct. Like everything.
It was playtimes.
Yeah, and then with Barney leaving, so like, yeah, I'm happy. I'm definitely happy with the show. And I've been reading these books for 20 years. I've read them a million times, and I can say I'm confidently happy with what we're getting. Is everyone exactly how I pictured them in my head? No, but I also didn't have pictures of them in my head.
Yeah, I had rough outlines. I will say one thing that's made me.
No, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Oh, you froze.
Go ahead, Tom.
No, you froze for a second.
Oh, the one thing that has. Oh, okay. Am I good now?
Your voice is, but not your image.
Maybe.
Well, the voice is the important part.
You're good now.
Okay. The thing that's making me happy is in my various Facebook groups that are made up of people that look like me, I now see people really interested in the Wheel of Time, whereas I would not have been able to convince them to read the books based solely on the subject matter. But now they've seen it on the screen, and I preface it all.
Cover up.
I'm like, if you want to read the books, just know that they made some changes, and I'm happy to sit with you and explain what the changes were and why. but I still suggest you read the books because the books are wonderful. But yeah, right. But it's the fact that it is opening up to audiences that, for whatever reason, would not have considered it in the past.
Yeah.
I talked to one lady today in my little Black Moms group because she loved the show. They asked what series you were watching. I explained to her about the books. I was like, so hold on, there's 14 of them. So before you make that commitment, just know that.
Just know that.
But we started chatting like on the side, and like she's never read anything by N.K. Jemisin. I'm like, you should go read that. You should go read that. But like it is opening up a world that felt very gate kept for a lot of us.
Yeah. That's fantastic.
Totally understood.
I mean, especially having attended Southern like fantasy conventions for the last near 20 years at this point, you don't really see a lot of. It's a sea of white people for the most.
It's easy to find me at JordanCon. It's getting a little bit harder, but it's easy to find me at JordanCon.
and I think shows like this and Lord of the Rings are really helping, open up and make people feel more comfortable, and also give opportunity to show cons being more inclusive with things, so that more people feel comfortable in going.
Yeah. Yes.
So I'm glad for that.
The last thing I'm going to say tonight is, as the mother of a biracial Avienda, I was very happy to see a biracial Avienda on screen. Like I'm very happy that she can look at that and like fully identify with that, but also other people can look at that, and it may never in her life she have the thought that, well, of course I can be a hero in a story because there's been so many, but for so long that would have been the thought. So hopefully we're getting past that. But I am very happy, like for very selfish reasons, I'm very happy that they picked Ayula to be Avienda.
Yeah. So before we leave, one more time, I'm going to put Redfield's link to her link tree, which goes to her Instagram and Etsy and all that stuff. So go and give her a follow, check out her stuff, buy some stuff, support our friends and amazing maker.
Amazing.
I mean, for real, seriously.
That's just mind blowing. Like I can't even comprehend.
And also support us if you like us. So give us, a subscribe, hit the bell for, make sure you get alerted when we're going to list our next stuff. And we'll see you guys next week, right?
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Good night.